You're he. Gonna be a wild one. Day one S one. D'Angelo, big up. More love. You got more. Hear he. Hear he. Hear he. Let me cut that music. Boom. There we go. Enough of that. Friday, we're here now. Huh? Cut that. Cut that music. Cut that shit. Here now. Big business. You already know. Your boy London. Chopping block out. Cleaned it nicely for tonight. Different shit. I got time. I got no work tomorrow. I've been working like a busy bumblebee. Hey, I've been working. Cold out here. Cold in London. Crazy. Freezing my ears off over here. Wow. Day one S in the building. What's good, D? What's good, D? D'Angelo, how we doing? Much love to you, man. Much love. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Mishu Ghana in the building. Salutes, greetings. CC in the building. Salutes, how we doing? Much love. Happy Friday, huh? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, folks. We're finally here. Bright side of the road. Right side of the road. So yeah, we got a few things in store this evening. We got a few things in store. I got time. All right. I got time. All right. Tonight's major event includes Bro Sanchez breaking down the stuff that he's not showing you. Right. We're gonna do it all. I got time. All right, is what I'm trying to say. Eternal Vision in the building. Yeah, chopping block is out. You feel me? Solte in the building. What's happening, Solte? How we doing? Busy bumblebee, working hard, yeah? Working hard. Yeah, salutes to you people. Grand old chat room. Grand old chat room. Happy New Year again. Right, 9 days in. And we're still rocking, right? We're still rocking. 9 days in and we're still rocking. Right? Still giving you that stuff no one's giving you. Where's my thing? All right. So, I don't even want to hold you too long. You dig? I don't want to hold you too long, but I've noticed, right? I have noticed um a few people, in this whatever you want to call it, truth or community, whatever, I don't whatever the title is, right? This movement, which involves a lot of let's call it flat earthers, right? Most of this community consists of flat earth, right? They spearhead the truth of community. Would you agree? All right. But most of these, people that was once flat earthers, they've now, dropped the ball, so to speak. They've, gone the opposite way, meaning they've gone to the globe, right? And some of them, right, seem to stick to the old flat earth ways, right? I.e. Bro Sanchez, right? And then you have another bunch of them that seem to incorporate the moon theory now, right, into their flat Earth cosmology, right? They're being very inclusive, right? Who was the first one that we saw the other day? We saw Santos Bonacci, right? I'm pretty sure he's a globe denier, right? I'm pretty sure he rocks with the flat Earth, but of lately he's been promoting, the moon reflection stuff, right? Not only that, I noticed, well, shouts to S. S put me up on something the other day. The boy Dave Murphy, right? Dave Murphy also is you know, promoting some stuff to do with, you know, the mirror, so to speak, the moon. Right? There's quite a bit here actually in this Dave Murphy stuff, but there's something that caught my attention in particular, and there was a timestamp. So we're gonna go to that. We're gonna start off with that for the moment, all right? And then we're gonna, get into some big business a bit later on down the line. It's Friday, right? It's nice and early. We got time, all right? Pull up, get a chair, have a smoke, have a drink, whatever you like. All right? Just hit that like button and chill out, all right? But we'll start off with a bit of, something that Dave Murphy is promoting on his channel. All right. Let's have a look.
Expeditions landing on 300 square mile patches of warm areas on Antarctica with thermally warm lakes. Like I was showing you earlier with the island of Deception, this massive island that they use as a port, very close to where Monty's port was. Thermal hot springs and red rock all over the place. These are some of the reasons why this land was.
This stuff here, I did cover this in one of my how would you call it? AI books, holy AI books. This region here, Deception Island. Right? I can't remember which one it was, but it was in one of them.
Referred to as.
I think it was when we was looking into the yellow brick road. It took us down here. Right? Shouts out to Wim. I think Wim was Wim was involved in that. Thanks, Wim.
The land of fire. South from South Mexico to Galicia. South from California to Lakesh. I'll get onto this later, but this is where the court and some of their puppets live. South from South China to Nova Guinea, and this one will blow your mind later. And Monty detailed its inhabitants, who are amongst us. South from South India to Patalia, and again detailed by Monty as inhabited. South from West Africa to what I call Vista 3. South from South Africa to what I call Vista 2 and 1. And in Monty's timeline, this land was discovered by the Portuguese. And we'll be coming back to all of these later on the modern chart.
The orb within an orb, but let's keep going. The door.
As I briefly explained towards the start, the moon is not a solid object that Freemasons can land on. It's a focused electromagnetic plasma phenomenon. Electromagnetic energy comes from below the Earth at the magnetic north. The moon is a reversed image of our flat world's floor plan, a mirrored bird's eye view.
Ah, okay. Okay. Let me hear that again.
Our never-changing face of the moon. By altering the colours, the world around us starts to appear.
Take you back.
Energy comes from below the Earth at the magnetic north. The moon is a reversed image of our flat world's floor plan.
Moon is a reversed image of the flat Earth plan. Okay. Okay. And this is a flat earther, right? Saying this. This is a flat earther acknowledging another piece to the puzzle, which could be true. All right. Further you go back, ancients were saying the same thing. Okay. This is an open-minded flat earther we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Very rare, very rare.
A mirrored bird's eye view. Our never-changing face of the moon. By altering the colours, the world around us starts to appear. And I'll refer to this as the political map. It will help you get your head around it a bit better. This lunar map is so accurately detailed that it's an impossibility for it to be a coincidence. I believe in nothing, and I've tried to debunk it, but I can't. It lines up perfectly with the Monty, and I know the Monty map to be accurate. And there's some of you thinking, Captain, you're contradicting yourself now. You said a map is only a real map if it retains a built-in key, a navigational guide to navigate the very map itself. And you're right. Don't take them eyeballs off your screen. Perfection. There's the key. The Monty chart is amazingly accurate for its day. The lunar chart is amazingly accurate today. Before I get stuck in, I want to thank Vibes of the Cosmos for his years of research on this subject. His work's outstanding.
You know what? Every time when I present or do some stuff to do with the moon, right, I seem to forget about Vibes of Cosmos. And he's got a lot of work, big body of work, plethora. Like it's I don't know how I keep forgetting about him. Right. But I do like his stuff, but for some reason he just slips my mind. He slips my mind. All right. So maybe that's something we have to look into, some of Vibes of Cosmos.
And with respect to Vibes and every other genuine truth journalist, unfortunately, like most researchers, they make mistakes and sometimes don't comprehend the bigger picture and allow themselves to be blindsided with beliefs pushed upon them. So like with all these subjects I've touched on during this presentation, I've corrected, connected and finished Vibes of the Cosmos' work on this particular subject. Vibes has got the locations of the exterior lands in the incorrect areas geographically, in the wrong order, and even missing in his seemingly unfinished work. These mistakes were for 3 reasons. 1. Vibes doesn't understand the destruction of the recent Little Ice Age between the 1587 Monty map and modern maps and the severe amount of land lost. 2. Vibes is not an expert in cartography, specialising in old world cartography and particularly the Abono Monty 1587. 3. Vibes is not a sailor nor truly understands marine navigation, chart plotting or astronavigation. Vibes mistakenly labelled this landmass as Nova Guinea, but this is actually Lakesh. What I've outlined here was Nova Guinea's original location before the destruction of the Little Ice Age, and everything inside this line was part of Nova Guinea.
Nova Guinea, are you sure? So where's Australia? I thought that was Australia. Hold on, let me see. Okay. So you got that as Australia. I'm pretty sure that is Australia. Was he saying that's Nova Guinea? Okay.
And here are the rest. As you can see, this includes Australia and New Zealand, amongst other surrounding islands like Fuji. I can undeniably prove this geographically amongst dozens of other proofs, mainly with the help of Monty's map, the key. And the implications are mind-blowing. Australia is full of old world and even ancient architecture predating the recent reset and the Little Ice Age.
Predating. Hold on, go back.
Are mind-blowing. Australia is full of old world and even ancient architecture predating the recent reset and the Little Ice Age. Meaning...
And the Ice Age, did it say? Damn, okay.
there was built up architecture and infrastructure not only in our known world, but even in the outer lands that surround us. The mainstream tells us that Australia was discovered by James Cook in 1770 and named Australia around 1825, and every old world building there was founded after. And as you can see on the Monty map, Australia's massive landmass is missing in the highly detailed area that Australia should be in geographically. There's only one country missing on the entire Monty map. Guess which one? Yep, Australia. But in reality, Monty didn't miss Australia out. It's right in front of you. Well, what Australia used to look like before every volcano in the area blew their tops all at once for years on end, causing massive earthquakes, mudslides, and entire countries to fall into the oceans during the Little Ice Age that only ended in 1860. Now, let me give you one of the undeniable proofs, then I'll get onto a few of the more.
Yeah, countries falling into the ocean, volcanoes exploding. That sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure a similar event happened in Jamaica. You know, most of the island in a certain place, it, you know, went bye-bye.
More interesting proofs out of the dozens that I've collected. There's a couple of ways that we can use Australia's position geographically today and use it to locate the same area on Monty's map. The tropical zodiac is a system that divides the sky into 12 equal parts, each corresponding to a zodiac sign. The tropical zodiac is not directly used for navigation, but understanding celestial movements is crucial for us navigators. The Tropic of Capricorn runs through South Africa, South America, and Australia. This line of latitude marks the southernmost point where the sun can be directly overhead at noon during the December solstice. The Tropic of Capricorn runs through the southern part of South Africa, just like on the Monty map, and runs through the central part of South America, as on the Monty, and lastly runs through Australia's central region.
Yeah, this lower half here, I suppose, would be considered as hell, the fire region. All right, this lower equator would be hell, all that region, I suppose.
As I follow the Tropic of Capricorn into the area where Australia now geographically sits, there's only this section of land that Capricorn runs through, showing the location of Australia on the Monty map. And guess what landmass we're on? Yep, Nova Guinea. Lines up perfectly, and Australia geographically sits right here.
Ah, so he said Nova Guinea is the Australian region. Okay. It is a big continent. I can see why you would say that, yeah.
New Guinea, just under the equator line. And the Indonesian islands all line up geographically to Australia's position too. Using Borneo as a reference, as its name hasn't changed since its 1587 map, and Borneo today, we've got Malaysia, Singapore, Java, which has took a serious hit since 1587, the Swales, New Zealand plus surrounding islands were also part of Nova Guinea. Pre-Little Ice Age and the destruction that came with it, Papua New Guinea was known as the Glio Kingdom, but we still see remnants of the old city names like Papua New Guinea. The narrative says the Spanish were the first to name it after the reset, Nueva Guinea. Nueva Guinea, Nova.
Wow, after the reset, they renamed it. Okay.
Guinea. Clearly named after the country and outer ring landmass that had just been renamed Australia. The documented civilization in Nova Guinea was called the Kingdom of Brasilia. Australia, Brasilia. Sounds similar, but it gets weirder. The oceans on Monty's map behind the ring of continents were titled. Behind Nova Guinea, now Australia, Oceano Austral Giatico. Altogether, it just translates to Southern Ocean. But if we take the word as it was written and said at the time, Austral, the V's in ancient Italian were pronounced as a U in modern Italian. So it's Austral, Australia. Now, is it a coincidence that the newly named Australia can be made up from the same name of its previous kingdom, Brasilia, and its ocean, Austral? Plus, when you add New Guinea, Nova Guinea, New Guinea, that's the old country, its kingdom, and ocean's name hidden inside the new names. Obviously not a coincidence, as I've already proven this is Australia geographically. Discovered in 1770, my hairy Scottish arse, was it? I could keep doing this with the name links, but I want to show you the people of the Kingdom of Brasilia. There's multiple descriptions of the inhabitants of Nova Guinea on Monty's map. The photos I'm showing are of the now called Australian Aboriginals.
Okay. The Australian Aboriginals. Okay. Now we're talking. Look at the marking on them. They're doing like it's got like the arms out, right? The horns. The horns. Ah, I like it. Look at that. That's brilliant. Yeah.
New Zealand Maoris, and the New Guinean peoples. These peoples are of the same race, just different tribes and separated by the destruction of the Little Ice Age. In these countries, which are not yet well known, men go naked and among them. The oldest perform the office of kings, who however govern in the manner of a republic, seeing in all manner of a barbarian, without any policy in this. The inhabitants of this country do not want the trade of strangers or their friendship, and this is forbidden by their kings under the greatest pains and a gift for idlers, meaning come ashore and we'll kill you and eat you.
Wow.
During any of the expeditions, if I anchor up offshore and this lot come running down the beach, or this guy pops out of his house with his dear old mum, I'm out of there. The last thing I wanted to mention before we move on is the weird, unique animals and critters shown on Monty's map of Nova Guinea. Now, don't get me wrong, there's unusual critters all over Monty's exterior lands, but Australia is often regarded as the land of unique wildlife and having the most extraordinary and rare species on Earth. Let's have a quick look at what happened to the survivors of the Brasilia Kingdom after the Little Ice Age and British and Europeans founded it once more, blessing its natives with their Christianity. 95% of the native blessing its natives.
I hate when I see these pictures here, because I know what comes next. I know what these pictures are about. Right? When I was younger looking at these pictures, I used to think, oh yeah, look, everyone's living in harmony. The white folks has come in and everything's much better. That's what I used to think. Look, they're looking after them. Like there's something very sinister behind these type of pictures, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Crazy. Ugh. History is a lie. History is a lie.
Is with their Christianity. 95% of the native Nova Guinean people were genocided, raped, and enslaved during massacres that sickened me during my proof gathering for this documentary, and I won't be repeating any of it. What I found pained my body and soul. Especially this Jumanji looking piece of shit.
Look at that. These people. I mean, look, if this is real, right, they're cruel. If this is not real, you're still cruel to even try to push an agenda like this. Right? What's going on here? Is this a movie set or is this the real deal? What are we looking at? I don't know. Right, there's something sinister behind this. This isn't history, something that, you know, should be studied or talked about and then brushed under the carpet. This is something weird going on here. Huh? Prisoners of war type shit. Damn. Invaders. Look at the invaders. Look at him.
If there's a jaw I'd like to break, it's his.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him smirk then.
Yeah.
Evil bastard. And where did they take them? Probably to dig out all the mud flood in North America, then dig their own graves.
Mm.
The most mind-blowing thing about Nova Guinea, what we now know is Australia and New Zealand, is this outer ring landmass that's meant to be part of the Great Imaginary Ice Wall had fully built out cities and infrastructure pre-reset, pre the Little Ice Age. The same infrastructure we see all over Australia today. And as this part of the ring of land around us was built out and was inhabited by its builders in the past, it's only logical to expect all of these land masses to be built out with infrastructure. I've known this for a while, and it still blows my mind to think about the possibilities. Let me show you how they hide these lands from you. These are the marine traffic paths. These are the flight paths. These lands are hidden to us on their modern distorted maps, but visible on the Lunar Chart, Monty Map, plus other old world maps. As you can see, both marine and flight traffic misses these hidden lands with perfection, and gives more accurate flight plan times than their own distorted map and their flat Earth fake map. Back down to Antarctica. This is what Antarctica is. This tiny little turd. A small island off South America. Like I said, close to its mainstream narrative, but the
What?
main
Hold on.
South America.
What? Is that how small you're saying it is, rude boy? Hold on a second. This little thing here. That is tiny. Yeah, just like that. Oh shit. Okay. Let's see where you're going with it. Let's see.
Like I said, close to its mainstream narrative, but the main lie is its size. It's not continent number 7, it's a small island, a remnant of the Land of Fire. That dot right there, that's the Ross Ice Shelf, also known as the Ice Wall. Scary, right? How are we going to get over it?
No way. Is he saying that little thing is the ice wall? What? Hold on a second. What is going on here? I'm confused. Is he a flat earther? What is this guy? Who is this guy? But Dave Murphy's promoting him. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more to it. I don't know. All right. I just got told to watch this timestamp, so I'm watching it in real time with you guys right now. All right. So Loser Day 1S. Fucking Loser Provo banned me. He banned me. What's going on, Jeep? Salutes. Much love. Ants in the building. How you doing? Big up.
How are we going to get around it?
Grand old chat room. You're done now.
We must be trapped. In your minds, maybe. You've been brainwashed into believing in an ice wall with zero evidence of its existence whatsoever.
What? Why are you gonna say that to them? They know about this ice wall. It's flat Earth. What do you mean? They don't need proof, do they? Who cares? It's just something they believe in. They don't need proof. Don't do that. Don't do that. They need an ice wall to hold on to.
Believing in your minds, maybe. You've been brainwashed into believing in an ice wall with zero evidence of its existence whatsoever.
Rasta in the building. Well, go on. Big up to you all the time. Me set, lay low. You already know.
When millions of people woke up to the realization that we don't live on a globe, the cult knew that our next step was to go look for ourselves. So they conditioned everyone to believe in their eyes.
Somewhere in time. Big up. Much love.
People woke up to the realization that we don't live on a globe. The cult knew that our next step was to go look for ourselves. So they conditioned everyone to believe in their ice wall that traps you in your mind like their globe used to. It's really sad to see how effective their deception was.
Oh, hold on. Wait. This guy's throwing me for a curve ball. It seems like he's riding on this flat earth thing. What is going on? He's riding on the flat earth. He's like, no, fuck your ice wall. It's in your mind. It's in your mind. Hold on a second. Take it back.
If you want to believe in their ice wall that traps you in your mind like their globe used to. It's really sad to see how effective the deception was. What else are you willing to believe without?
Well, hold on. Wait a second. You gotta remember now, folks. This isn't my clip or nothing to do with me, right? This is the boy Dave Murphy. He's promoting this, right? Listen to what the man's talking about. This isn't me. This is Dave Murphy. He's promoting this.
Go look for ourselves. So they conditioned everyone to believe in their ice wall that traps you in your mind like their globe used to.
This is, in other words, this is probably what Dave wants to say, but someone else has said it. So he's like, oh, yeah, I'll have this, pull it on my channel. He's promoting this. All right. You dig? Go on, Dave. Okay.
It's really sad to see how effective the deception was. What else are you willing to believe without any evidence whatsoever? These islands are also part of the Land of Fire, but these are hidden on the court's modern maps. The second landmass on Monty's map was completely destroyed with no remnants left on the lunar map. Once our current and coming ice age are complete, there'll be nothing left down here. Galicia was decimated too. On the lunar map, there's a faint line in between these landmasses. I wish I could give you more than my scribbles over Vibes' map, but I'm not a very technical man. If you do have the technical skills to create a similar type map like Vibes' map, but with my corrections to it, obviously I'd pay you for your services. Please get in touch.
Yo, hey, hold on a second. Dave's promoting this. This guy wants help, and Dave said, hey, whoever can help this guy, help him out. Right? Help this man out. He's onto something. I thought Dave Murphy was a flat earther. How is this? This apparently is not flat earth stuff, right? This is stuff to do with the moon, the reflection, the greater lands. Nothing to do with flat earth. Interesting. I like it. I really do.
So Galicia is about the same size as Canada, America and Mexico combined. Look at the size of Lakesh. The fact that they give us Australia but not this and go to the extreme lengths to hide it from us, I'm guessing this is a landmass that the cult inhabit for themselves.
Ah, they're hidden land for themselves. Okay. I see where you're going with that.
I've collected a dozen clues and hints that this is the case, like this photo from inside Air Force One, JFK's presidential plane. Notice the map on the wall, and no, that's not Australia, that's Lakesh. It's highlighted in lots of old world cartography. Lakesh has good weather, easy and quick to access.
Hold on. Okay. Wait. Because I did actually see that land, but I didn't really pay attention to it. But because on the Shambhala map there was a region over there, right? But I'm pretty sure was it Brazil or is that in another place? The different Brazil. I'm confused. Okay, but I like where this guy's going with it. I like it.
Plus, this continent didn't see much destruction during the Little Ice Age. We've already been quickly over Nova Guinea, aka Australia, New Zealand, and surrounding islands. But still, look at all this land south of Australia. Onto Petilia. This was completely missing off Vibes map locations. The creepy thing is, this was completely missing off Vibes map locations. The creepy thing is, in 1587, this continent was inhabited by a civilization of people described in Monty's map. And bear in mind, he was correct about the Nova Guinea people. So chances are he's right about the Patilia peoples too. Less known, but this is what I've got. In these countries, it's not allowed for foreigners to live there. And everyone goes naked, so we're seeing a trend, and is very white. Very white to me sounds odd, coming from white Caucasians. Joy Marie.
That is. That is indeed. Hold on, let's take that back.
In these countries, it's not allowed for foreigners to live there. And everyone goes naked, so we're seeing a trend, and is very white. Very white to me sounds odd, coming from white Caucasians.
Sounds like the shining ones. Mm.
During my research, I did find a fair few photos of New Guinean people painting themselves white, and they did this to scare off peoples and other tribes. Or maybe they were just pale-skinned. On to what I call Vista 3. Remember on the Monty, all three of these continents were called Vista or Land of Vista, implying that there's some type of connection that I've never been able to connect. Maybe one of you can. But look at the size of this landmass. We could fit 3 of our world's land combined into this area. It's gigantic. And the chances are this entire area is fully built out with ancient and old world infrastructure, possibly even populated. We've got Vista 2, a series of lands twice the size of Europe. Again, I bet this land is fully built out. And the last gem, Vista 1, previously known as Atlantis. Destroyed during ancient times, but not sunken like the legends state until the destruction of the Little Ice Age. Obviously, Vibes also figured out that Atlantis was down here, but like most on his layout, Vibes mistakenly classed Vista 2 as Atlantis. Most that search for Atlantis are taken way off the mark with fantasy. Like in any research, stick to the facts and you'll always get to the truth. Use logic. Atlantis, Atlantean, Atlantic Ocean. Now, quickly going back to the different timelines of architecture. Now you're starting to understand the 4 different timelines. There's ways that we can prove the pre-reset timelines people did not build the stunning ancient and old world architecture. As Monty states, these outer landmasses were not yet well known. Monty's 1587 map was made towards the end of the pre-reset timeline. 20 years later, the world went to shit. So we know it wasn't the pre-reset timeline that made these structures we see all over places like Australia. The main mud floods happened between 16 and 1700. The narrative says that these Australian structures weren't built until the late 1800s, but all of them are severely mud flooded. So they either built all of these palaces, then decided to bury them all in mud, or these buildings were built pre-mud flood. So these structures are clearly built pre-reset and pre the Little Ice Age. And we know it wasn't the Nova Guinea peoples, the Brasilia Kingdom's people, that built these structures. Ancient and old world buildings all over Australia, which are of the same architectural style as structures in England, France, Spain, and the rest of the known world. It's an impossibility that the Nova Guinean people built their structures in exactly the same way, especially with these people having no contact with the outside world during their timeline. The Nova Guineans inherited this land and its infrastructure just as the rest of the pre-reset timeline did. Just as our timeline inherited what was left from our pre-reset timeline. These buildings were created by the ancient and old world timelines people before their own demise. Clearly the ancient and old world timelines people inhabited all lands, including the outer ring of landmasses that surround us.
Yeah, see, that looks more of like a fractal, what they're showing here. All right. If that's meant to be the original parts here, maybe that's like fractal. Maybe if you zoom out, maybe there's more to this map, right? If you zoom out more, you're gonna probably see another Australia, right? Another Vista 3. You're gonna see all of these places again. It could be a fractal, right? I'm pretty sure if you go into this middle, right into the spot right there, you're going to see all of these continents again squashed up around here. It could be showing us a fractal. Some of these images and pictures that we've seen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me say this, right? We don't ever get to see the whole thing, right? Let me say that again. All of these pictures that are floating around on the internet, on the websites, all of these images, when it comes to, the hidden stuff, esoteric, whatever the case may be, pictures of the realm, we don't get to see the whole thing. They only show us what they want to see, right? What do I mean by that? Stick around, right? Stick around. You're going to see something a bit later, right? But let me say this. Everything leads back to the moon. I'll leave it there.
Monty's time, the people pre-reset to us, obviously had a higher knowledge about our world compared to our dumbed down timeline. Humanity has never been this stupid. Right, before the ice wall lovers start pointing around the lunar edge and screaming ice wall, let me show you a crappy experiment I did. This black piece of paper represents our world. Everything we see on the Monty and lunar maps. All around our known world, I've placed other charts representing other landmasses beyond. I've got a round mirror. This represents our moon's reflection. It's in no way to scale, but that doesn't matter. You'll get the point. The camera represents our perspective looking up at the moon. And as I rotate the moon around our world, this is a reflection, our perspective. All we see is a round reflection of the immediate land around us. But we can't even see the full black rectangle piece of paper, only a small circle part of it. So does that prove that the rectangle is actually a circle? No, because we can step back and we know 100% that there's more than the little circle that we can see from ground level. My logical mind only gives two possibilities. This circle is the edge of the known world, a barrier.
So look, he's saying what I just said. Keep in mind, I haven't seen this, right? But he's saying what I just was saying about we're only seeing this small snippet of it, right? That's wild.
Maybe even an ice wall, a sealed unit from that point onwards. Or, like I said with my experiment, when you look into your bathroom mirror, do you see the reflection of the entire wall behind you, or just a part of it? Knowing for a fact that these hidden lands exist, this creates more issues and questions. We know for a fact that our local moon and sun both circle and spiral around our north. But if this outer land, large enough to fit 3 times our world inside, doesn't get the warmth from our local sun, it must be in darkness and frozen. Now, this is just a theory until I prove it, and I eventually will because I'm right. It would be a waste.
Oh, yo, did you hear that? Big talk. Big talk. Huh? Big business. I love that shit. Confidence. You're so confident. You're so confident. Hey, let me take that back.
Our local sun, it must be in darkness and frozen. Now, this is just a theory until I prove it, and I eventually will because I'm right.
Jeez.
It would be a waste to create this massive landmass, plus possibly more beyond, to only allow a tiny part of it to be livable and accessible. It just doesn't make sense to me. And whenever something doesn't make sense to me, it's always because it's wrong. My soul resonates with the truth and receives information directly from source. And I feel it in my bones that these lands are habitable. If this area wasn't receiving warmth, the land and oceans would be frozen. There wouldn't be any distinctive features between the frozen land and seas. And the moon's reflection would look more like this. But that's not what we see. We see separate land and liquid oceans, indicating warmth and light. How could the moon reflect darkness and show landmasses in such detail? The only logical explanation would be this area has its own heat and light source.
Mm-hmm.
The sun and moon are yin and yang. Mm-hmm. You can't have one without the other. And you can't have either without their power source, a magnetic north. My improving theory is that this land has its own sun and moon. Light, warmth, a power source, and a magnetic north. Once becoming out of range of our lunar map, the next moon will come into view. Our moon and sun are not unique. I don't know how far the land goes before its inevitable containment, but at the end of the day, neither do any of you. And there's only two ways that we can find out.
Truman Show. I'm pretty sure all of you don't know this, right? The Truman Show. I've seen a lot of flat earthers run with this. Like, oh, the dome, Truman Show. Oh, Truman Show, the dome. Hey, I've been there, done that. I used to do that shit, right? Until I realized what they were actually showing me. Filled with hollow earth symbolism, right? Crazy. Remember, hollow earth leads to what? Hollow moon, right? Bingo. Let's keep going. Hey, salute to the Grand Old chat room. I see some people in there. Much love to you. See Phil in the building amongst us, our predators. Salutes to you. I've got Bex in the building. Salutes. Big up. Who else we got down there? Rasta. Yeah, salutes to you, bro. Much love.
Remove the cult and gain back the secret libraries and knowledge, and or just go and look for ourselves.
Look, the ship. The ship. Celestial ship. Right? What's the ship tied into? The moon. Right?
I need help from truth seekers and content creators to help push the information on this documentary.
What? Come on. You need help. Holler at your boy. Someone get in contact with this man. Tell him I'm here for him. Right? I'm here for him. He's trying to think outside the box, bringing you new stuff, and I like it.
To put truth research back on the right path. I don't expect channels to repost it, as the truth is back on the right path.
Mag Bitter Chief, you know. Jeez, Mag Bitter. Bam.
I don't expect channels to repost it, as the truth is against YouTube's community guidelines, and you'll only have your channel deleted over, as the truth is against YouTube.
Yeah, Vibes is cool. I like Vibes. Let me see. Hold on. John, I don't mind John. John's a cool cat. Maybe what you got back there. Let's have a look.
I need help from truth seekers and content creators to help.
Yeah, I like John. Easy going. Easy on a Sunday morning. I can rock out with John. Yeah.
Push the information on this document.
The Crow House. Who's the Crow House? That isn't Crow 777. The Crow House. Never heard of that one.
Entry. To put.
No, never heard of you.
Truth research back on the right path. I don't expect.
Who was that? No,
to put truth research back on the right path.
Yeah.
I don't expect channels to repost
My
it.
Lunch Break, I've heard of him, but I've never really watched them.
As the truth is against YouTube's community guidelines,
Eric.
and you'll only.
See, I don't know, Eric. I don't know if you really want to say Eric's a truther when it's just the flat earth they're promoting, right? I think the flat earth is another half of, you know, the opposition, if you know what I mean. This bird has two wings, right? Left wing, right wing, Democrats, Republicans, red, blue, globe, flat. All the while, Hollow Earth is there, waiting to be explored, right? But Eric, of all people, Eric, I don't know about Eric. You know, I'm not too sure about Eric.
You have your channel deleted over it, but you can give 10
Divergent. What about Bro Sanchez? How come you ain't got Bro Sanchez up there? Let me see if you got Bro Sanchez. Let's keep going.
seconds of your time.
Martin, yeah, I like Martin. Martin's cool. Salutes to Martin. That's Broski.
To promote and show your followers where to find this document.
Jay, you know, we got Jay. Okay, I see you down there, Jay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Entry. I've posted it on 17
Don't know them, don't know them,
different social medias and made its own webpage.
don't know them.
The key to taking your freedom and world back isn't through violence or voting or standing outside waving a cardboard sign. As their AI stated, the truth threatens their power. The truth will set you all free. Knowledge ascends to enlightenment and a higher vibration. In this documentary, you've seen a glimpse of the power of frequency and vibration. When the veil's lifted and the curtains drawn, they lose the psychological power they have over the masses, and we can purge these parasites from our world for good. We are the ones with the true power. We can manifest a better world. I'm offering to take 11 brave, enlightened souls for the first expedition over 2 vessels.
Ah, don't do that. Let's not do no expeditions, please. Let's not let's not do that. We know how the last one turned out when people tried to plan something to go somewhere. All right. Let's not do that. I mean, if I don't know. I don't know. Why not just do it by yourself? You know, with a few homies on the D low. What happened to doing stuff on the D low? Why you gotta put it out there public like this so they're gonna shoot you down anyway? Do it on the D low, man. Come back and show us the results. Please, yeah. We don't need another final experiment type shit. We don't. Mm-mm. What's that checkerboard earth? Flat thumbs to Martin. Flat thumbs. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. 'Cause Martin does the flat thumbs thing, right? He used to be a flat earther. I don't know whether he promotes that as much, but that's another one, right? Still my guy, but I've seen Martin promote stuff or show stuff, and it's hollow earth stuff that they're showing, right? Stuff to do with even the moon, but they're calling it flat earth. Right? I'm like, no, look again, look closely what you're promoting. It's hollow earth. Everything leads back to hollow earth. And then what happens after that? It leads back to hollow moon. Right? Let's keep going. Don't worry, we're nearly at the main event, right? I got time, right? Don't worry. I may even drop the link, but we got time. We got to connect some dots tonight.
I will show you all the reality of the world around you, and there's nothing the cult can do to stop me. I need a second captain for Seorsa 2, a 40-foot steel-hulled, cutter-rigged sailing yacht.
Oh, you're telling them your whole game plan. No, you can't do that. Not everybody's your friend. Not everybody's your friend. You can't tell them your whole game plan. You're telling them your whole shopping list right now. You can't tell them your whole shopping list. Mm-mm.
No details of the expedition will be given until you've been selected as crew. For the first voyage, I asked
So you gotta be crew. You gotta be crew to get the full detail. You gotta be crew, right?
for no females, no one under the age of 25, no one with children under the age of 18, and no one over the age of 60. And I mean no disrespect. I will protect my crew and we will return safely. But sailing into undetailed, uncharted, and unknown waters has its dangers, and I don't need the listed above clouding my job as captain. Each crew member must be prepared to individually spend 10 days with myself aboard Seorsa, my home, to experience and learn the basics of sailing and navigation, and approximately a 7-week expedition round trip.
So you get a little expedition, right? He goes to his homeland, right? You see how it is down there. You get a little 7-day excursion, right? Get to max out, man. Don't sound too bad, but you gotta be crew, right? You gotta be crew. Mm. Whose channel is this? Dave Murphy's channel. Dave Murphy. This is Dave Murphy's channel promoting this. This isn't me, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is somebody else who's been doing their own due diligence. But, you know, they seem to be connecting stuff back to the moon. It's not me, it's somebody else. But they're promoting it on Dave Murphy's channel, right? Dave Murphy. Yeah, the guy who I thought was a flat earther.
I can't be fooled, and I can see through your windows and into your soul.
The eye. You know I love the eye, right?
If you don't have one or have bad intentions for me or my crew, I will see you. The parasite that runs and deceives this world has no power over me. And the captain doesn't like having his time wasted by deceivers. You may be a wolf in sheep's clothing, but I'm a lion in lions. Be warned. I don't trust tech, but for now, if you'd like to contact me, please see the address on screen or in the link below if this is an original post from a channel owned by myself. Any issues in future, and I'll add a PO box address.
Hold on. Gotta clip him. Cheers, man.
Just be careful of deceivers. I would never ask any of you to do or give me anything. I will show you all your reality at my own expense. Anyways, if you've got to this point, thank you for your time. Peace and love to you all.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's his name again? Captain Gunn. Yes, Captain Gunn. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was something new. That was something different, right? It wasn't coming from London, right? That wasn't coming from me. That was coming from the one and only Dave Murphy, right? That was Dave Murphy promoting that. So, you know, something different, right? Something different. That's a lot to take in, though. It's a lot to take in. You know, the reflection, I suppose, right? The reflection, is that a lot to take in? Okay, interesting. But yeah, where are we, man? Where are we? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Angel Wings in the building. We love you too. So yeah, like I said, everything seems to lead back to the moon without even trying. Right? We've been looking at things in a different way. It's time to expand your mind now, right? Come out of your feelings, come out of your domes, come out of your ice ring, and just let it flow. Salute to the grand old chat room. Salute to the people who's here. I see you because you see me, right? Simple. All right. Where are we? Let's get into this. The Lion of Judah is the demiurge, apparently, Bro Sanchez, right? Let's have a look at this. Well, I've already seen some parts of this, right? Now, there's maybe like what, at least half an hour, right? At least half an hour. If you want to sit down and break this down with me, right? I'm only gonna go into half an hour on this part here, right? And obviously, if you want me to open up the panel, we'll open it up. But this is, you know, his rendition of it. I want to give you my take on it, right? As we dissect it, show you the stuff they're not showing you in plain sight, right? So yeah, get into this one. You're gonna like this one, right? You're gonna like this one.
I know that the title is gonna make a lot of people tight. I know that people think that we have all the answers, but we don't. Let me remind you, we're still in a
No, we don't think you got all the answers. I definitely don't. I know that for a fact you haven't. Let me take that back.
I'm gonna go off cam if y'all don't mind for 1 second. I know that the title is gonna make a lot of people tight. I know that people think that we have all the answers, but we don't. Let me remind you, we're still in the I'm gonna go off cam if y'all don't mind for 1
Yeah, we don't think you got all the answers, respectively, yeah?
second. We're still in the process of trying to figure out all of the answers in the world today. If we had all the answers, the world wouldn't be the way we see it. So with the practice of syncretism, we get to uncover reality through the lenses of the ancestors, which their perspective
Through the lenses of the ancestors. Hell yeah.
of a reality led to the best result of how humans live on the earth, because how we see reality inside dictate how we treat it outside. But let's not do a long intro. There's a lot of syncretism we got to get into today. So I'm gonna hop right into it. Just understand that I know that the title is controversial. I know that you think you know everything and that I'm wrong and that
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Hmm? Who are you talking about? You're talking to somebody, all right? Who are you talking to?
there's no way, Sanchez, that Christ and Yahweh can be one, and that the Lion of Judah could be the demiurge, Sanchez. Well, my title today says just that. The Lion of Judah is the demiurge, and Christ and Yahweh are one. To understand the syncretistic connections I'm about to make today, I do want to start off right now with my little brief intro. Let's put the herbs out. It's time to get to work. In my little old brief intro here, what I would like to say is that you have two choices. You can believe in fairy tales and be a believer, or you can decode the folklores, decode the fairy tales and mythologies, and become a knower.
Okay. Okay. I see you pointing at yourself, so you're the knower now, yeah? You decoded it all. You sure? You sure? Because I'll be checking through shit thoroughly. So you better have your papers in order. I'm coming like border control. Uh-huh.
Which is what the word Gnostic is all about. Shout out to Ripple Man trying to sing on one of your beats, Sanchez. Hey, much respect. Thank you for that. You got to step out of belief and get into decoding mysteries instead of believing mysteries. Believing mysteries lead to you believing mysterious gods who work in mysterious ways. This makes you a mystic. We were never mystics, meaning people who only could regurgitate mysteries throughout the ages. We regurgitated knowledge and wisdom, which was powerful. But when they took that away, we was left with the folklores and myths. So what happened to the knowledge and truth? It's buried behind the myths and folklores, which is why you need to start deciphering the myths and folklores and stop just believing them.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah. These myths and folklores hold value, a lot of weight. Believe it or not. So I'm with you there. Yeah, thumbs up to that. With you there.
Now, our ancestors didn't believe in
Renegade in the building. How you doing, my guy? Long time, long time. Happy New Year. Much love.
no myths and folklores and different gods. And for example, we about to talk about the Lion of Judah today. The Lion of Judah isn't exclusive to the Israelites. It's not exclusive to the Hebrews. The Lion of Judah is a universal concept that I'm about to break down, and I'm gonna show you this lion deity represented all around the world, and it means the same thing that Christians say about the Lion of Judah. Everyone is practicing the same spiritual system, but they're taking it literally. That's why they ain't extracting the truth behind the folklore. People literally believing when they think in the Mercury that there's some dude with a wing helmet on flying through the sky. It's archetypes. These are symbols and characters to represent higher advanced concepts that we about to get into today. So in order to understand how I'm making my connections, you got to know what I just said. That I'm not looking at none of these gods like literal creatures. Like, it's so disrespectful to think that your wise ancestors believed in lion-headed monsters and, you know, a lion-headed dude with a human body with serpent legs. That's the Lion of Judah. Now, many of you may say, Sanchez, that ain't the Lion of Judah. The Lion of Judah is just the symbol of a lion that was given to Jacob, who was the one who made the symbol popular. It was first given unto Jacob, which is Yaqub. Jacob, the only one in the Bible with a ladder that leads to heaven.
All right, you hear that, right? We're definitely gonna need that for reference later, right?
Which is Yaqub. Jacob, the only one in the Bible with a ladder that leads to heaven.
Jacob, the only one with a ladder in the Bible that leads to heaven, right? Cool. Let's keep going.
So today we finna go real deep about why the Lion of Judah is associated with Jacob, which is Yaqub, the creator of our avatars, the one you call the demiurge. See, what we gotta realize today is that all Gnostics and all ancient people knew something that we forgot today, that the world around you is a simulation, and that the creator of this simulation isn't the Most High. It is the creator of the simulation, or the one that said in Genesis, let there be light. That's one word, Bereshit, which means be reset. I've taught that to a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's not that, because it's the head, the beginning, right? It's the beginning, right? Come on, get it right.
Talking about the creator of the matrix, not the creator of the universe, to understand why the Lion of Judah is also the demiurge and why Christ and Yahweh are one. We got to get into some of that folklore that I was telling you about and do some decoding, deciphering of it, as well as we're going to crack open some ancient symbols today. Look over these symbols and make these connections visually so that your third eye can open, so that you can see, not just hear. Because mythology, folklore, deciphering, that's the hearing part. I'm not just going to put information into your ears. I'm going to put information into your eyes too. I'm a syncretist. So today we're going to be dealing with sacred geometry. We're going to be dealing with etymology and all of this good stuff. And I want you to open up your mind and get out of your normal thinking, you know everything way of thinking, because chances are it's just your papal programming. And that what I'm doing is above a lot of people's pay grade, because my work starts off with me acknowledging the
Okay, glossing up the work. All right, take it back.
Thinking you know everything is good stuff, and I want you to open up your mind and get out of your normal thinking you know everything way of thinking, because chances are it's just your papal programming. And that what I'm doing is above a lot of people's pay grade, because my work starts off with me acknowledging the fact that none of these gods and none of these symbols were literal people.
Hold on. So just because you acknowledge they wasn't real people, that makes you legit. That makes you the one, right? That makes you the one above everybody else. Okay. I see what you did. You can have that if you want that. We'll have it.
They wasn't lion-headed people walking around with serpent legs and fish heads on earth. No, it was the way that they were teaching about advanced spiritual concepts, and I'm going to go into all of that today. Let's give a shout out to Sally McDermott. Thank you so much once again for your continued support, sister. Let's hop right into today's lecture. And let's go to our first slide. So here, my friends, we got to pull this up. Why? This is the demiurge.
All right. Now we're getting into something. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Right. Let's see if your papers are in order, bro Sanchez. All right. Let's have a look. Let me check you real quick. Lay low. Let's go.
People say that they talk about the demiurge. You hear the word demiurge tossed around a lot. No one really show you visually what the demiurge was. So today what I'll be doing, I will be showing you different depictions of the demiurge throughout different cultures, because the demiurge was a universal concept. And this first depiction that I want to show of the demiurge is an ancient one that, in my opinion, now this can be debated, but this version comes from the Mithrin priesthood. Now, if you don't know about Mithraism, we're going to get into Mithraism today. Now, let me give a shout out to Marlon Wells. Flat power to my brother Marlon. Thank you so much, man.
Flat power, Marlon. Yeah, flat power.
Now, I want you to stay with me, because I'm going to, throughout the show, give shout outs of donations, and I don't want that distracting
you. Why not just shout them out now? Shout them out now. Why you gotta wait? Trying to hold people ransom, right? Just shout them out, right? Just shout them out. Just get it out of the way. Show them some love, right? That's the reason why you're here. Don't let them wait. Show them some love. Grand old chat room, right?
So look, first concept, because we're dealing with the Lion of Judah. I want to show you the ancient roots of this lion before it even ended up with the Jews, with the
Okay, ancient roots. Okay, I'm with that. Show me.
Hebrews. Because this Lion of Judah that you hear about in the Hebrew concept in the Christian church, it ain't nothing new. Just like everything in Christianity, Christianity is a modern, new age tradition that is based upon an old spiritual truth. And this tradition is keeping us from seeing the truth, because this truth is hidden behind myth. And the myth starts with a god called Ra. We're going to talk about Mithraism, which is an ancient religious system which is based upon myth, telling myths to teach deeper truths about Ra, which is the sine wave inside of you. In other words, Ra ain't the name of the sun god. Ra is the modern word roar, like Ra. It represents the one Ra.
No, it's not. But keep going. That was funny.
It represents the one. See, because we live in like an ecosystem, but it's really an ecosystem, because the true self is the first one that spoke you into existence. See, this is a primordial sea that you disturb with vibration, vocal. Let there be, let there be. We all spoke this in the fetal bag in the waters. We spoke together we manifested our avatar via audio, which is a sine wave. They call it the spirit. When the spirit hit the fetal bag, the water in the fetal bag, the body was a result of cymatics. What happened when sound hits water? Well, depending on the frequency, the sound will create sacred geometrical shapes on the water surface. You are a sacred geometrical frequency holding its form, but just like a ripple effect, Just like cymatics, those shapes we see on the water surface can't last forever. They last just as long as the frequency is played. The science that I'm teaching now about the spirit interacting with creation, manifesting into the physical world and leaving it and entering it. All of this advanced knowledge that I'm about to spew was hidden behind myth. And the earliest myths called the soul Ra. They gave it a name and they told stories about what the soul did as it entered the earth and as it leave. And this became the resurrection stories and virgin birth stories. But these stories were hiding a deeper truth. We're going to talk about Mithraism today because the root word of Mithraism is a good example of why you have to decode stories in today's world, why you all have to become syncretists. So let's get into Mithraism and talk about one of the oldest myths. And it's going to go into the myth of Ra. One of the forms that Ra take is a lion form. And we're going to talk about this concept of Ra. But let's start with the Lion of Judah in one of its antique forms before it ended up in the hands of the Christians. So the myth.
So he's been calling it Lion of Judah, right? Lion of Judah. Pay attention.
That was told about Ra, Mithraism, was all about the soul's ascension and the Kundalini serpent, which is at the base of the spine. And we talk about this a lot. Let's go ahead and start.
The base of the spine, Kundalini serpent, right? That's you hear him, all right? Let's keep going.
Start to open up some of these. So here we have the demiurge, or what you call the Lion of Judah. And in this collage, what we see with the demiurge is that another form of the demiurge is Aten. Aten, according to the Egyptians, is a simulator god, meaning Aten is, if you put an S in front of it, is Satan. So Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, the serpent, Satan, the serpent wrapped around the cross was the first form of Jesus before Christ. That's why they both called a morning star. Now,
no, it's not that. Take it back. Listen.
Jesus be the serpent, Satan. Is, if you put an S in front of it, is Satan. So Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, the serpent, Satan.
The serpent, Satan, right? Listen.
The serpent wrapped around the cross was the first form of Jesus.
The serpent wrapped around the cross was the first form of Jesus, right? No. That's the first red card on the play, right? The serpent wrapped around the cross is the mother, right? Wrapped around her child, which is the cross, Jesus, the nucleus, right? This is the mother wrapped around her child. First of all, right? Whether it's the serpent in the garden, it's the mother. The mother's represented as the serpent before anything, before any of these male deities.
Form of Jesus before Christ. That's why they both called a morning star. Now, the thing that you got to realize about the morning star, it ain't got nothing to do with early in the morning with the sun coming up.
All right, look, 13 minutes in, he's telling you this is, Jesus, right? Now, he's referred to this as the demiurge or the Lion of Judah, right? 13 minutes in, and he still haven't given you any other name for it, right? Now, if he's done his research, he would have, given you one of the original names, right? And he would have taken you somewhere else with this, right? Now, I want to show you folks something, right? Let's You see the Orphic egg, right? You see how it's wrapped around the egg. Right? Wrapped around the cross. Right? That's another gem right there, right? It's wrapped around its child, it's wrapped around something. Right? Now, this right here, this is another form of this. What do I mean by that? Let's get into it.
The egg is a relatively universal symbol that's used in many different places to represent the origin of the universe. We call it a cosmogonic symbol, meaning that it's a symbol that represents the origin of the universe. This universe starting off as an egg reappears in many different traditions. We have, first of all, in the Vedic tradition, and then
And it's wild, right? Let me say this, right? Because like I was saying earlier, I've seen many people show me this picture right here, right? But they never show you the whole thing. Anything to do with, what could be of this construct, we only get a snippet of it, right? Going back to what I said earlier, we don't get to see most of these pictures in their whole entireness. It's just snippets of something. And then we run with it for years and years and say, oh, the Orphic egg, oh, the Orphic egg. But we don't ever dig deeper. Well, I do now. So here we are. Let's keep going.
it reappears in Zoroastrianism, in the Illyrian mythology, from which we get the Orphic myths. And that's the version that we have here, the Orphic egg with the serpent wrapped around it, which we'll talk about in a moment. And then it reappears also in Egyptian mythology, in Phoenician mythology. In China, we see it around the 1st century. Some Taoist monks use the egg as the origin of the universe in a story in which a giant called Pangu is born from an egg. As he's born, the egg splits in half, and one of the halves becomes the sky, and the other half becomes the earth. And as the giant grows, the two become more and more separate. We see it also in Finnish, Polynesian, Dogon mythology, amongst others, right? This particular one, this one with a snake, comes from the Orphic myths, the Orphic mysteries. And the reason this particular egg is wrapped around with
Right. Pay attention now, folks, right? This is the stuff they're not showing you, right? Pay attention.
a snake isn't because of any kind of story in which the egg from which came the universe was actually attacked in any way by any serpent or anything like that, but rather as a message to those people who would see this symbol that inside here is Phanes. Phanes.
Right, Phanes. Who's Phanes, London? Right, let's have a look who Phanes is.
Being the god of light, the first original.
Oh, god of light. Okay.
God, also called Protogonos. Phanes is represented
Protogonos, Phanes. Okay.
with a serpent.
Who we got right there? Right. Who we got right there? We ain't got no demiurge or Lion of Judah. It's a representation of Phanes, protagonist, right? It all leads back to the egg, bro, Sanchez. The great mother, right? The serpent, the egg, hollow earth, hollow moon. Right? We're not finished yet. Let's keep going.
A serpent around him. Now, Phanes actually literally means bringer of light. And in the Orphic
Even look what, hold on.
tradition, Phanes is the very.
Look what he's even resting on, right? We already know what that is. We looked into this shape right here, right? Look what he's standing on, right? Everything leads back to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the moon. Stop playing with me. Let's keep going.
Very first god, or at least the firstborn, because the egg is issued from Kronos and Ananke. Now, Kronos is the god of time, and Ananke is the goddess of
Hold on,
Ananke.
because
The egg, Phanes,
that's also the rock as well, right? Keeping in mind the rock, third rock from the sun and all that stuff, right? Keep that in mind, the rock.
is the very first god, or at least the firstborn, because the egg is issued from Kronos and Ananke. Now, Kronos is the god of time, and Ananke is the goddess of inevitability. You might call it fate. And the two of them together brought forth this Orphic egg from which Phanes originated. Now, why is the serpent a symbol of Phanes? Well, because Phanes is also a symbol of thought. And he was a figure of interest for Carl Jung, who, as you can see, painted many versions of Phanes. You can see in Carl Jung's version shapes that are designed to look like eggs, exactly for the reasons that I've just described.
Eggs. Egg, the celestial egg.
Now, I spoke at some length last week about the demiurge, this usurper god who wanted to have a creation of his own. This was basically the theology of the Gnostics, the Christian Gnostics of the 1st century CE. And this demiurge takes power from the monad, the light source, the origin, the first god, to create his own world, the physical realm, which the Gnostics believed we were entrapped inside. This directly parallels what we have here, with Phanes being the light bringer, and Zeus later devours Phanes and gives the power of Phanes to the new gods of the pantheon on Mount Olympus. Now, this isn't regular Greek mythology. This is Orphic mythology, which we know mainly
Back to Mount Olympus, right? Everything leads back to this mountain, this mound, this pyramid, right? The mountain.
Thanks to the works of Aristophanes. Now, there's another nice significance to this egg with a serpent wrapped around it. The serpent has an interesting dilemma now. It has the option to crack the egg open immediately for instant gratification, in which case it will get the meal of an egg. Alternatively, it can continue to warm the egg until the egg hatches for a much more satisfying meal. That's maybe also a consideration for one of the meanings of this symbol. Well, that's
all right. Right. Phanes. Fools and tools in the building. How you doing? Big up to you. Kyle in the building. Much love. Yeah, they're rolling in. Salutes. Dr. E in the building. What's happening? Yeah, big up to you. Big up. Fools and tools. Much love. I ain't seen you in a while. Hope you're good. Brian in the building. Salutes. Arts Y in the building. You're done now. Just tuning in. Big up. Yeah, man. Salutes to you people. Yeah, let's keep going, man. Fuck. Where was we? All right. So, yeah. Lion of Judah, right? Let's see where he's at with this.
Nope. And we're going to come back.
Yo. Nope. That was funny as fuck.
Back to why it's called the Morning Star, and it ain't got nothing to do with breakfast time. Or the morning with the sun coming up. Nope. And we're going to come back to why it's called the Morning Star, and it ain't got nothing to do with breakfast time.
Oh, the Morning Star. Okay. Nothing to do with breakfast time. Okay.
Now watch this, right? First, we got to stay on track about the Lion of Judah. The Lion of Judah, one of his names is Leontocephaline. Now, some of you are going to not know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. We're going to break it down. The name of the demiurge lion, if you look up the demiurge, they're going to give you this same deity. But this deity in other cultures has a name.
What about the protagonist or Phanes? What about those names that got birth from the egg? Hmm? Are you even going to mention that part? Right? Are you forgetting the reason why he's even here? Hmm? Let me hear if you mention the egg. Because after all, you do apparently represent the great mother, right?
Name, which is equivalent to the demiurge, but it's a different word. And but one of the names of this lion is called Leontocephaline. And of course, the word Leo is dealing with Leo the lion. And of course, the Lion of Judah is a form of Christ, and we finna get to that, how that relate to Christ in a minute. But we got to start with Mithraism, because Leontocephaline, which is one of the antique forms of this winged lion who's wrapped in a serpent, comes from this culture, which is
Mithraism, right? Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mithraism. And we ain't gonna read this entire Wikipedia article.
Oh, of course you wouldn't. I mean, to be honest, I probably wouldn't, because I know what's actually going on. This story depicts a different narrative, what's happening, right? Obviously, the slaying of the bull, right? Now, if you look closely, the slaying of the bull, right? The great mother, right? This is when it was no longer moon worship. It got slain. But from the moon, if you look closely, from the mother, from the cow, life sprung, right? Life sprung, right? What do I mean by that? Maybe this is the ark they're depicting, right? Life in the ark, right? The nucleus attacking that shit, right? They're attacking that shit. This is where it's at. The beginning. Ain't no way around it. Twinkle in your father's eyes, right? Mm-hmm.
Because I already know all of this stuff. I've done my research. But one thing we want to show is just uh, the connection between the Lion of Judah. So as we scroll down here, you can see that Mithras, which is the name of the god that we get the name of this religion from, Mithraism. But Mithra was a myth. And the word Mitra or Mitra is the name of a hat that Dagonian priests wear. It's called a mitre hat.
Yeah, they wear the mitre hat. Yeah. Listen, excuse me. The hats are representations of the construct, right? The hats are representations of the construct. In other words, a hive mind system. When you see it on their headrest, as they go through the ages, they're showing you representations of the construct, right?
All right. And here is Mithra busting up out of a rock. And one thing I want to say is that that rock symbolized the North Pole. And that's why you see Mithra with a
Yeah, busting out of the rock, right? Mithra was birthed from the rock, right? He didn't say the egg, he said the rock, right? The rock is the egg. Mithra, if it's Mithra, right, or Thanos, he's birthed from the egg, right? Birthed from the egg, aka the lens. Why would it be the lens? Maybe that's where the mitochondria is at, all of the good cells, everything, spark of life, right? The arc. That's what they're showing you. Right here. That's possibly why it's got all of the animals around it, right? The Ark of Life. That's why I have all the animals. That now it makes sense, right? That's why it's got all of these animals like goats and fish, dragons and fish, you know, man and horse. It's everything mixed up, is what they're trying to say, right? But you always see this around a celestial chart, right? Meaning the moon, the celestial clock, right? AKA the lens. Let's keep going.
The Santa Claus hat on his head.
The Santa Claus hat on his head. What shape is that?
This represent resurrection at the base reality, which is in the center of the earth. And that was called Rupes Nigra. It's called Black Rock. It literally means black rock. And this is what the North Pole is. The North Pole is a volcano, but instead of shooting out fire, it's shooting out the living ethereal flame, which is the soul. So the North Pole is literally like a projection machine that's projecting human avatars in a higher plane, and that avatar is what's going to house your consciousness on a net in the higher plane of existence. So this is also the Barber pole, which is an ancient symbol that we see that's in a lot of North African cultures and different ones like that, the Berber or the Barber pole, dealing with the same concept we see with the god Moses, which we're going to get to him in a minute as well.
See, he's gone to Moses now. Not how long? How long we gone into this? 17 minutes, right? And I haven't seen one connection to do with, you know, the egg at all, right? He mentioned the rock, but not the creation, the egg, right? Haven't mentioned the egg yet. Which, if you would talk about the egg, you will know it ties back into the mother, right? And then that's a whole different bag. But let's keep going.
So this is all dealing with, we're going to show you how the demiurge is you and me. The demiurge, when we say, but Sanchez, how can I be the demiurge if the demiurge is the creator of the world? Well, who creates your dreams? You do. A dream is literally created when you sleep. So when God go to sleep, man is awake. For every effect, there's a cause. Because your body is woke, what cause and effect, that's because your spirit fell asleep in a higher plane. The body woke up on a lower plane. Is nothing but the shadow reflection of the Most High. It's literally the most low, which is why people curse it. They call it Satan, and they want to demonize this demiurge concept. But we're going to talk about this thing with some sense and some advanced spirituality behind it, so that we ain't believers in a myth sounding like children and believing in spookism. So the Barber pole is another form of the demiurge, or what you call the Lion of Judah. And in a minute, we're going to show you why it's red and blue, dealing with magnetism and polarity. Left and right brain, red and blue pill. One is spiraling up, one is spiraling down. So here is an image of Mithra, and what Mithra represents.
No, it's not an image of Mithra. It's not an image of Mithra. It's Thanos, right? Coming from the egg. Mithra is the cult, bro, Sanchez. Right? It came from the egg. Right? Came from the egg. You gotta get it right the first time around in this day and age, right?
Present is resurrection. These resurrection stories predate Christ. So one thing.
Predate Christ, right? Predate Christ, exactly. Right? So it came before Christ, right? Christ was inside the mother, the egg, the serpent, wrapped around it, right? Wrapped around.
thing I would like to show you real quick about let me silence my phone. I don't want that to be a distraction. So one thing about these resurrection stories, people, they predate Christ. Here we heard about Christ rising up out the underworld. Here is just a cover of the
See?
narrative about Christ
Hold
rising
on.
up.
See, Christ rising up from the underworld. See, look at that. Oh my Lord. He's got you focused on this image which looks like Buddha, right? Just focused on that. Right? Look. Image of Buddha coming up from the underworld, right? All along. Look who's behind Buddha, ladies and gentlemen. The mother in plain sight, right? Can't make this shit up. Mother's there in plain sight saying, hey, what about me? Right? Mother in plain sight. They just got you focused on Buddha. Right? Just got you focused on Buddha. Look, this is like the Taurus again. Right? Just got you focused on Buddha.
About the underworld. Here is just a cover of the never.
The underworld. I'm glad you said that, right? Because the underworld ties back to the moon, right? The Great Mother is tied back into the underworld and the moon. So get to that part, please, if you have that part.
About Christ rising up out the underworld. Here is just a cover of the never-ending story talking about the astral plane, out-of-body experiences. I gotta give you that one because it's a classic, right?
Yeah, see? Look again. Hollow Earth symbolism, right? Look at that in plain sight. The pyramid or the stairway, right? The pyramid or the stairway, whichever way you want to look at it, it leads to the orb, right? The light above. The pyramid and the zero up top, right? We see that everywhere. It's hollow earth right in front of you, right? Where do we see that? We see that everywhere, right? Look, let me show you, right? They show you everywhere, right? Everywhere. We're gonna get into that. Don't worry.
So syncretist, very thorough here. And here in Hinduism, you can see that the Most High God is the highest version of the self. All of these lower forms, if it's the same guy, but in different dimensions, doing lower activities, let's just say. Now, here is an
Look, wrapped around it again. See how the dog is wrapped around it as the serpent, right? Wrapped around it.
image of Yahweh from ancient Christianity. This is called the divine counsel of Yahweh. But what this shows is Yahweh uplifted on top of the holy mountain and busting up out the simulation. If you would like an equivalent of this, it would be right here with Buddha and also Enoch. So let me show you other forms of this real quick, because if you want to understand the Lion of Judah, we got to talk about all of this. Now,
No, look again. See, look in plain sight. Look at the angle of it. Look at the pyramid sign, right? Look at the direction. Look what he's sitting on, right? This is that moon worship again, right? In the ark again, the arms up like the Great Mother. Remember, the mother got slayed, right? This would be the Great Mother doing this depiction right here. He's he's representing the mother, right? Copying the mother. Ain't no way around it.
now here you got to see why Jesus and Yahweh is the same archetype. And all of these deities, not just Yahweh, but Jesus.
Look, okay, here we go. The arc now. We've got the moon, we've got a bit of the moon here. Right. Back to the moon. Yeah, moon worship, as you see here. Right. Rotary Club. But we've got the ark, we've got the ankh, both the ark, right? We're definitely gonna come back to this. Hold on, let me take a picture of that. I'm gonna need that.
Jesus and Horus, Jesus and Samson, Jesus and Moses here. Look at here. Jesus and Sakar, because the god Sakar in Egyptian teachings, basically he's a cosmic seeker. It represents the light within the self. It's
Oh, see, but hold on, let's all right, look, because look, before we even get even that bit further, all right, 20 minutes 30. All right. 20 minutes 30. 20 minutes 30, remember that, right? Where was it? And take it back here real quick. Like I said, famous, right? Now he's mentioning this thing, but he's not mentioning the egg, right? He's not mentioning the egg which comes with it. Why is that? Why are we not talking about the egg that comes with it? Why, when we just look at the Orphic egg, we just see, you know,
Become more and more separate.
one image? Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? It's time to start looking at things for what it really is. Everything leads back to the moon. They know this. Bro Sanchez knows this. That's why he pretends he's talking about the Great Mother, right? He just showed you the Mithra stuff and how the bull got slain, but he didn't go into details what came next, right? Why did it get slain? What did it represent? What did the egg represent? There you go, right? We only see this image when we look at the Orphic egg, right? They only show us that, but there's more to it, right? It's showing us the egg, the moon. It ties back into the moon. Right? This is what it was all about. It all ties back to the egg, aka the moon. You see the bull worship up here. You know what the bull represents, right? That shit is Taurus or Tauri, right? You see one, you see the other. They represent. Okay, let me show you real quick. Show you what I mean. All right, where is it? Just like this, Ophiuchus, right, and Tauri, right.
What remains is a relatively calm, well-behaved debris disk.
Debris disk, right.
But over the last decade, mounting evidence from several young protostars, like these, have suggested that planet formation actually...
Yeah, Tauri and Ophiuchus, right. Look at the names, right. Look at the names, right. Orphic and Taurus, the bull, right. Orphic, Ophiuchus, right, and Taurus, right. Coincidence, yeah. All right, cool. It all leads back to the moon. This is what they don't want you to know. They pick their topics, right? They're very, how would you call it? Tricky with it. Very tricky with it. Right? They know what they're doing. It all leads back to the moon. This is what they don't want you to know. Moon worship. In plain sight. Wasn't no flat earth, right? It was hollow earth, hollow moon. concave system. Can't have one without the other, ladies and gentlemen.
And cultures and different ones like that, the Berber or the barber pole, dealing with the same concept we see with the god Moses, which we're going to get to him in a minute as well. So this is all dealing with, we're going to show you how the demiurge is you and me. The demiurge, when we say, but Sanchez, how can I be the demiurge if the demiurge is the creator of the world? Well, who creates your dreams? You do. A dream is literally created when you sleep. So when God go to sleep, man is awake. For every effect, there's a cause. Because your body is woke, what cause and effect, that's because your spirit fell asleep in a higher plane. The body woke up on a lower plane. Is nothing but the shadow reflection of the Most High. It's literally the most low, which is why people curse it. They call it Satan, and they want to demonize this demiurge concept. But we're going to talk about this thing with some sense and some advanced spirituality behind it, so that we ain't believers in a myth sounding like children and believing in spookism. So the barber pole is another form of the demiurge, or what you call the Lion of Judah. And in a minute, we're going to show you why it's red and blue, dealing with magnetism and polarity. Left and right brain, red and blue pill. One is spiraling up, one is spiraling down. So here is an image of Mithra. And what Mithra represent is resurrection. These resurrection stories predate Christ. So one thing is,
Hey, where was we? Okay, I remember we went back quite. Was it like 2030 or something like that? Let's head back forward now. Because I made my point. Let's just go there.
we got more for you. And what the purpose of me showing this collage is to show you Yahweh. Here is Jesus, Yahweh.
Someone said never ending story. Is that where I was? No, that was back. Oh, never ending story, was it? Was that back up there? Yeah, I did pass that, no? Fuck it.
Yahweh, Horus, all giving you the same sacred geometry.
Oh yeah, I was up here.
So as you can
somewhere,
see here, Yahweh on top of the holy mountain with his hands lifted up in a what? Touchdown position. Touchdown. Look at Moses right there on top of the mountain, lifted up, touchdown position. And again, what do we say? The God Aten. The God Aten that we see in the bottom left.
Yeah, 2030. All right, cool. Say nothing. I knew it was
Who
that.
seek teachings.
Okay.
Basically, he's a cosmic seeker. It represents the light within the self, exploring the multiple dimensions of reality, the multiple dimensions of the self through the cosmos, through reincarnation. And what we see with...
All right, now look at the representations he's got, right? Look at the representations he's got to prove his point, right? Samson, looks like Ma'at, I think. One of them Assyrian people, right? Egyptian. Okay, Christ, Moses, the box, and some other stuff, right? Some esoteric stuff. It looks like some, yeah, alchemy stuff, right? Okay, now, is this what's really going on here? Look at the symbols he's got, right? I don't know what this is representing. Jack in the box and Moses and, you know, I don't know what is going on. These two, I know what's going on. I know who Moses is meant to be, right? We know who Moses represents or what he was a part of. You can see what he's representing here again. Look. All right, we looked at that. That could be represented as the moon, plasma, right? The water. Look at the angle of the road again, the pyramid or the ladder, like the pathway. right? Arms up like the Great Mother. Well, it's not spreaded, but you know, it's more of the squatter man sign what he's doing, right? As above, so below. But he seems to be looking into the waters, right? The portal. Even though I know the story, you know, the waters split. But it looks like there's more happening. There's more to the story right here. Right? But yeah, these pictures, nah, not doing it.
With Secure up here in the top right corner, first of all, the name Secure is just an ancient way to say seeker, one who seeks. But what is that? You're seeking truth. Seeker or Secure is a God that left heaven to go explore the layers of the self to come back home like the prodigal child with all power in his hand like Christ. This story that we hear with Christ is just not exclusive to Christ, man. It's in Freemasonry that we see Freemasonry in the bottom left corner there. And we're going to just sync this with a lot of stuff today. So buckle up. We got more for you. And what the purpose of me showing this collage is to show you Yahweh. Here is Jesus, Yahweh, Horus, all giving you the same sacred geometry. So as you can see here, Yahweh.
No,
Show
but
you.
hold on.
We got more for
Look,
you. And what the
why
purpose
do
of me showing this collage is to show you Yahweh. Here
why did you skip past these two? Explain these two, right? If you explain these two, then the other ones is gonna make much more sense. But because you're not explaining these two, right, what it represents, you're leaving out the moon, right? You're skipping past these ones. Look,
here is Jesus, Yahweh, Horus,
look how fast he skipped past it. I had to pause it, rewind it, and pause it. Right? He's skipping past, you know, the main ones.
all giving you the same sacred geometry. So as you can see here, Yahweh on top of the
Yeah, giving you the same sacred geometry. Exactly. The moon worship. Why aren't you talking about the moon worship then? If you know they're giving you this same stuff, right? You just showed us the pictures with the anchor and the moon and the Egyptians. That's moon worship. Why aren't you talking about the moon worship then, bro Sanchez? What are you talking about now? Let's hear it, because you just said it's all the same picture, right? Now we just seen the pictures of the moon, what they just showed us, right? And Jesus on the ankh that represents the crescent, the moon. Now, what is it? Okay.
the holy mountain with its
The holy mountain. Bingo. Right? The holy mountain. You heard it, right? The holy mountain. Cool. Right? The holy mountain. Now, we already spoke about the God that was in the mountain, right? Look what he's doing, right? You ain't gonna get it nowhere else, right? Right? What's going on here? Hmm? What is going on here, ladies and gentlemen? Remember, this represents the center, the mountain, right? The mountain with the zero at the top. Hmm? What are we looking at right now? What are we looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen? This is straight moon worship, which they're not telling you, right? That is straight moon worshiping. Hmm? They're showing you sin. All right, they're showing you sin in plain sight. The man in the moon, right? The god of the moon. Ain't no way around it. They're showing you sin. This is the moon worship over and over, ladies and gentlemen. Everything leads back to the moon. right? Nothing else, nothing less. Right? This is why he's up here. Right? I told you, look at the pyramid he's on. Right? He's on the crescent. Right? Just like what they show you with the boy. Right? On the pyramid, he's on the crescent. All leads back to the moon. The mountain. Hidden in plain sight, right? The mountain. Right? The moon. And the mountain. Right? The celestial egg. All leads back to that.
His hands lifted up in a what? Touchdown position.
The touchdown position, it belongs to the mother. It's the great mother's position, right? Speak on that.
Touchdown. Look at Moses right there on top of the mountain, lifted up, touchdown position. And again, what do we say? The God Aten. The God Aten that we see in the bottom left. And why do I have the Statue of Liberty on here? Because this represents liberation. So you notice that the god Saklas, which is the demiurge, the Lion of Judah, right, is Yahweh. Is all the same. In order for you to see the truth, you got to realize it ain't no such thing as a bunch of different gods that people believed in. What the truth is that there's a
Yeah, we know that, but you got it all wrong, right? Because all of these came from the mother, the first, right? But you're not mentioning that. You're talking about everybody else arrival, but you're not mentioning how. You're not mentioning the egg, right? You can't talk about the son without talking about the mother. Simple.
bunch of different archetypes all around the world that represented the same universal concept of your soul's ascension. And the papacy don't want you to know that. The Freemasons don't want you to know it. You talk like this, you're a Gnostic. You're going to get blackballed. Now let's go into this God up here who we call, because this is your line of Judah. Why did Jesus wear a crown of thorns? And why was Jesus called the Lion of Judah? See, all of these little symbols associated with Jesus ain't his, man. Jesus get this. See, Jesus ain't new, man. See, before Jesus, Lucifer had these symbols. Lucifer had the spikes, the horns on the head. So Lucifer was the morning star, the serpent symbol. So, you know, we're going to get into all this because all of these different deities and were the demiurge. The demiurge is the part of us that represent the in-between. Basically, we're all the demiurge because what the demiurge is the god of duality. Is not a good god or a bad god. It's a chaotic god based upon it being a baby god. So if you go read any literature about the demiurge is like a baby among the gods. And the demiurge is arrogant, like a child, not a kind of childish arrogance, a kind of arrogance and ignorance and ego that's based upon a big case of immaturity. So the demiurge is like a big baby. If he don't get his way, he knocks stuff down and messes stuff up. He pouts, he get jealous.
Really? How you know all of that stuff?
And basically what the ancestors was trying to create a character to represent what we are, which are young, chaotic souls inside of a simulation on the path of ascension or descension. So another form of the demiurge is the Baphomet, because you can either ascend or descend. And if you look at the Baphomet, he's pointing one up, he's pointing one down.
Yeah, indeed. He's showing you as above, so below, right? And not only that, the Baphomet is represented with the horns, right? The horns, right? And one more thing, the Baphomet comes with, many parts, I suppose, like human parts, animal parts, right? Could that be another piece to the puzzle, what they're showing you with the ark, right? It's representing everything, humans and animals, everything on the ark as one, right?
That's the 6 and the 9, the yin and the yang. Why did I bring up
The yin and the yang. Yep, that's the moon.
the yin and the yang? Well, the serpent in between the yin and the yang, that is the demiurge. That S stands for split. That's the one that split the sea. He's also called the Ripper. He's the one that rips through the veil. So you can see Moses up there wearing all black with his hook in his hand. He's another form of the Ripper, ripping through the ethereal barriers. You also see the goddess Oshun in the top right corner represent the same concept, which is liberation. And you can see that she has spikes on her head, just like Saklas. Okay. So when we talk about Christmas, Sanchez, you gonna hop right into Christmas? Yep, we finna go right into Christmas trees because the star at the top of your Christmas tree is this ball that you see. Here is the whole Christmas tree right here. That is the Liberty Torch. That is the Most High God represented as the illuminated one, the shining one, the brightest star in the sky, Polaris. Let's talk about again how this relates to Yahweh here. Yahweh is the star on top of the Christmas tree. This holy mountain that he's on top of, this represents resurrection way before Christ. This is not Christ, this is Yahweh. With this symbolism represents the soul leaving the dome. You see the flat earth, you see the dome right here.
Ah, he had to throw that in there, right? The dome, the flat earth, the dome, all right, the dome. Okay. See what I mean? There's hollow earth symbolism all over this, but they're gonna tell you it's flat earth, right?
Here, you see the holy mountain in the middle, which is the North Pole, and
All right, see the mountain, right? The mountain, yeah.
Yahweh ascending up to the highest plane, just like Enoch. And what color?
What about what he's resting on? He's sitting on his throne. What about the throne? How are we gonna just skip over the throne? What he's sitting on, right? Look what he's sitting on or standing on, right? The throne. Why are we gonna skip over the throne? Oh, I tell you why. Because the throne is the moon. It sits above the earth in the reflection, right? This is why they don't go that deep.
Is Yahweh wearing the same color blue that we see the Statue of Liberty wearing, and that torch, that light that's shining represent the vault of heaven, liberation. Why is the Statue of Liberty got 7 spikes on the head? Well, let's go back to Mithraism, because again, here is a rising Mithra representing resurrection. These are the first myths. Again, Mithraism, dealing with the stories of ascension. These stories.
All now he's not even mentioning the rock or the moon part of it, the egg. Where's the egg? The story has to start with the egg, bro Sanchez. Where's the egg? He came from the egg, from the rock. What is the egg? What is the rock? What is it? What is it? Why don't they ever show us this type of shit? Everything leads back to the moon, right? There's so much stuff we just need to, pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen. They're trying to pull the wool over our eyes in plain sight. Crazy. No way around it. Everything leads back to the moon, back to the ark.
Stories was never meant to be believed literally, but deciphered the way that Sanchez doing today. Shot
Nah, not the way you're doing it, because you're missing out the biggest part of it, right? This is the creation story we're talking about, so to speak, right? Somewhat of the creation story. You're missing the egg out. What are you talking about? You ain't deciphering nothing. Oh, that was crazy. Hold on, take that back.
to be believed literally, but deciphered the way that Sanchez doing today. Shout out to Soma BT. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, no, you should have waited. You should have waited. You ain't giving it to them. You ain't giving it to them. Give them that moon talk. Give them that egg talk. Not even the moon talk. Give them the egg talk. And then that goes down a whole different rabbit hole. Right? I don't know how you managed to tie this in with flat earth. I don't know how you managed to tie this in with flat earth. Man, come on. Let's be real.
Let's read a little bit about Mithraism. You see that Mithra was born from a rock.
Yeah, the rock. Okay. Yes, born from the rock. Cool. But what is the rock? What is the rock? Born from the rock. No, born from the egg, bro Sanchez. Right? Born from the egg, aka the moon. Right? Get it right. Let's keep going.
Right? And you will also realize that in Mithraism, they have these concept of the 7 chakras, right? And they talk about the soul being born through each of the 7 chakras to make it to the highest heaven. Go research Mithraism, which is where this god come from. It's called Leontocephaline, right? So another deity that we see in Mithraism is this deity here, which
hold on.
that we
Vulcan again, right? Or Mercury's cock. Vulcan is that mountain, the V, right? The V, right? That Venus, the Venus, right?
we see in Mithraism is this deity here, which is an antique form of the line of Judah. And again, we know that the Mithraic priesthood was borrowing from the Egyptians. So, of course, we're going to go and talk about the Sphinx. We're going to talk about Sekhmet.
Even okay. And the Caduceus, they got the Caduceus, yeah? The Caduceus, okay, yes. That even, I forgot the Caduceus, okay, yes.
Because when we talk about the line of Judah, just understand that Jesus is the earliest form of the concept. Check. And what's so crazy about the people who attach to the New Age version, they think they're so right. They don't understand that the knowledge I'm giving is the oldest information about these symbols in antiquity.
No, it's not. How could you haven't even mentioned the egg yet? You haven't even mentioned the egg yet. How are you giving it to the people? You haven't even mentioned the egg yet. You haven't even mentioned the protagonist. You haven't even mentioned Phanes. How are you giving it to them? Riddle me that. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Be humble.
You're believing modern myths literally That's why no one's powerful. No one's cracking.
Oh, yeah, see, this ain't modern. This isn't modern. Hmm? This is where your dude comes from, right? This is where your dude comes from, right? This is where your dude comes from, who you should be talking about, but you're not. What are we doing here? Hmm? On the rock, on the moon. Birth from this, right? Which symbolizes this, Lunas, right? Wavy.
The code. So again, you're believing modern myths literally. That's why no one's powerful. No one's cracking the code. So again, let's read a little bit about let's go into. I want to actually read a bit of this. I don't know what I want to read, but I do want to just skim through it a little bit. So let's see if anything worth our while before we move on.
Hold on, why aren't you talking about, the slaying and everything? How come you just running over that? Like, what is going Hold on a second. Nah, this is crazy. Hold on, this is crazy.
The Mithras exhibition is part of the Hadrian's Wall Gallery in the Great North Museum. It's an area set aside to display objects that have been found along the line of Hadrian's Wall. And these are objects connected with the worship of a god who the Romans called Mithras. Mithras was a god who came from Persia, the country we now know of as Iran, and we believe that his worship was brought into the Roman Empire by Roman soldiers who were serving in the East.
Look, still got half of the egg on his head. Wowzers. Look at that. Still got half of the egg on his head. Right? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the creation story, which involves Pangu, right? When he spoke about he grew in between the egg until the top part of the shell became the firmament, right? And obviously you have the bottom half of the shell, which I suppose would be the underside of it, right? Of the firmament. A complete egg, a complete sphere, right? Or complete something, not just one half like a dome, right?
East. Mithras is usually shown being born from a rock, so he emerges from a solid rock. But in the
There you go. Yeah. Look at the sign. Mother Goddess sign, right? The crescent moon. Mm-hmm.
Great North Museum, we actually have a carving that shows Mithras hatching out of an egg. This comes from the Temple to Mithras at Housesteads.
See, all now he hasn't mentioned the egg. Hasn't mentioned the egg. Right? You're going to mention Mithra, you have to mention the egg, right?
Hadrian's Wall. A tauroctony is a representation, usually a carving, from a temple to Mithras, and it shows Mithras killing the very first bull. The worshippers of Mithras believed that life came from the dying bull, and our tauroctony actually shows ears of corn springing out of the bull's tail as Mithras kills it. Mithraism is the name we give to the worship of the god Mithras. So it's a religion that was popular in the Roman Empire, particularly with soldiers serving in the Roman army.
Yeah, look at that. Moon again, the bull. Right, it's all happening in one thing. The slaying, the life coming from it. But you know what's wild, right? Check this out. This might seem crazy, but that looks like an eye right there. Right, that looks like an eye. This thing right there.
Each temple to Mithras, called a Mithraeum, resembled a cave. They were built underground, they were very dark, they would have been lit with torches and candles.
Look how Earth is spelled with a H. Hearth. Hearth. Alright. Mm-hmm. Pine cone.
Candles, and there would have been two benches down either side of the Mithraeum for the worshippers to sit and also to take part in ritual feasts, which we know were part of the worship of Mithras.
Ah, so you look, pyramid in the pine cone again. Look at the pine cone. Wowzers, look at that. Mm-hmm.
I think the Romans were looking for something more from their religious worship. They were dissatisfied with the old pagan gods and they wanted something new, perhaps with a more moral outlook. And this is one of the reasons why Christianity was popular, and probably one of the reasons why Mithraism became popular as well in the Roman Empire.
All right, so you see it there, right? None of this is possible without the egg. Right? The egg. Mother God is getting slayed up there. I wonder if Bro Sanchez is going to talk about any of this, right? Because this is a big factor, right? Especially the egg.
Okay. Because I'm gonna basically be giving you most of this information anyway.
Excuse me. I'm gonna basically be giving you this information anyway. Yeah, sure. All right. Let me hear you just give that information what we just ran down. All right. Let me hear you.
Important thing we want to take from this is that the
important thing. Don't forget the important thing, which is the egg. All right. Don't forget that.
Yazada. So all
Yazada. See. All right.
of the deities that I'm showing you are different deities that have been associated with Mithraism at different.
See, you don't even know. This would be sin, right? You're looking at the moon god right now, Bro Sanchez. Right? That ties back in with the moon god. Right? We just went over this. It all ties back to the moon. No way around it. Ain't no way around it. That's what you're afraid of. That's what you're afraid of. You built your foundation on this flat earth stuff, right? You avoid that moon stuff like a plague. But there's no way around it. It all ties back to the moon, right? This little thing you're showing right now, this thingy-majig, yeah? You see that right there? Yeah? You see this one right here? You see that one right there? You see this one right here? You see that one right there? Yeah. Nothing but moon worship. Not flat earth, but moon worship.
Different points throughout the cult, right? Throughout the history of the cult.
Excuse me. All of this goes back. Look what they're showing you, right? Look what they're showing you. Again, the mountain with the hole, right? The stairs or the pyramid, but the pathway, right? And there's a hole in the middle. It all leads back to a hollow earth, and it leads back to a hollow moon, right? Look at the symbol. Look at the symbol. Keep on looking at this, right? The pyramid with the circle, right? The stairway, right? Right? The stairway. It's all there in plain sight. Right? All there in plain sight. 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 Bob Marley and the Wailers. Don't let them fool you. Hidden in plain sight. Hollow earth in everything. Hollow moon in everything. Look at the monument for Hollow Earth. Look at the monument. Look at Stargate. They say the moon's plasma, water. Bum. They're going through water. Right? What did that scientist say? You cannot land on the moon because it's plasma, it's water. All right, look what they're showing you here. The keyhole. Look what they're showing you. Mars, even Mars has got it. I don't make this up. It's there. Look, Dante, Underworld, it's there. Moon up top, lens. It's is what it is. Right? It's up top. What they're showing you. It's what they're showing you. What they're showing you. What they're showing you. Right? It's what they're showing you. So all of this stuff, what he's showing you here, he has no idea what he's talking about. This goes back to what I said earlier, right? With a lot of these flat earthers. They show you pictures or whatever they have, but they have no idea what they're actually showing you. To some degree, they might have a little inkling, but overall, no. No. Or maybe they do. Maybe they stay down a different road with it. Let me hear what he's going to tie in with this.
So,
because keep in mind, this is the man in the moon right now. We're looking at sin, right? We're looking at sin, the man in the moon. We're looking at the Mount, the Sinai, right? We're looking at Sinai, right? The moon worship. Let me hear what he's going to tie in with this.
Yazata is one of them, which became the god of modern Zoroastrian cults. And remember that the Zorro cults was based upon the knowledge of Atenism. Why is this all important? Because the 0 point is where Rup is Niagara at. Let's go back here. If you pull out an AE map, the way we get around is through coordinate points, where these cross sections take place on a flat earth. We ain't gonna go into that because I'm doing something else, but you need to know this.
Oh, but you want to go into that, right? You won't go into it. Don't be afraid. Go into it, man. Don't do your thing. Go into it. We won't judge you.
Right? You need to know that the place where our soul leaves the earth, we can't go there. No one can see what's at the North Pole because The people in power here are part of an ancient spiritual priesthood, and they're protecting the simulation. You can't walk out of the gaming area. You're in your avatar, right? These are like the refs. You're in a game. It's a simulation.
I'm gonna pause that right there because I need a toilet break and a smoke break and all of that stuff. You know, we've been going for some time. We've been breaking it down, right? What's you folks' thoughts on this, right? Do you think Bro Sanchez is onto something, or do you think London's, you know, how do you call it, debunking him? We're debunking that shit. Mm? If you ain't talking about the mother, the moon, it's not gonna make sense, right? Funny, I know. Crazy. How can you not incorporate the egg? Mm? It's right there. It's right there. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open up that panel. Give me a second. Yard ready. Yeah, anybody got anything they want to share, you're more than welcome to come up and you know, share your findings. Give me a second. Yes, I'll add that. In that. You never know who's watching. Bro Sanchez might even swing in, you know. Time for class. Went over your papers, and yeah, I don't know. It's a bit sketchy. Bit sketchy. You're missing out a vital part. You missed out a lot of things, to be honest. Right? You missed out some important names, some important origins. Right? You missed out the whole shebang, is what I'm trying to say. Right? You missed out the whole shebang. But fair play, you gave it a try. You gave it a try. You know, you gave it a try, so can't knock you for that. Anybody else with anything new? Anything new from the flat earthers? Anything new from you flat earthers? Anything new from the globies? Anything new from the globies? Anything new from the rising earth sector? Anything new from the rising earth sector? Anything new from Austin Murphy? Hmm? Anything new from Austin Murphy? No, I don't think so. Ah, it's wild. Everything goes back to the moon. Told you once, I told you twice, and I'll keep telling you this, all right? Keep telling you this. All goes back to the moon. All right. Now, there was something else I wanted to break down while I was here, because he just goes on about this, you know, but still not tying it in to the mother. Right, even adverts.
No God And someone is literally interpreting the symbols as God, and they on their knees worshiping an archetype. So whichever one you do, you're gonna be led astray if you just don't simply use the symbols for what they was made for, which is deciphering truth.
But you still haven't mentioned nothing about the moon god, right? The moon, hollow earth. You ain't mentioned nothing about that. This all ties into this. You ain't mentioned the egg. Look, I'm looking down here. I can't see nothing to do with it. Just birds. Look, I see a bird. I was once doing the bird stuff. Look, got bow down here, right? Moloch doing the mother goddess worship sign again with the crescent, with the hollow earth symbol again. Look, the pyramid, the truncated with the hole at the top, right? It's all there, all there. But they call it flat earth, right? They call it flat earth. Wow, even in what's his name? What's his name? Is it Truman? Yeah, it is.
He's still on the floor.
Look, so when they're out looking for him, right? They're all out looking for him. They cut into different scenes now. Look, boom, right above them in the background again. More hollow earth symbolism, right? Hidden in plain sight. It's all there. Truncated and the hole right there, right? Moon worship, hidden in plain sight. Right, right in the pyramid as well. Look at that. It's all there. You don't have to do anything. I mean, if you really knew what the Truman Show was about, right, that had a lot of hollow earth stuff in it also. I know there was a big dome in it. Right, we know that. But they're showing you that hollow earth stuff, right? All in their symbolisms. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all right, cool. He's just ranting on about this Mithra, Mithra, right? Where are we? What do I see there? The Stargate, see? But you're using it the wrong way around, right? This is what you're meant to be showing them. Huh? 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 This is what you don't want to show them. Huh? Hmm? Huh? Huh? Hmm? This is what you don't want to show them. You've got it the other way around, my friend. Look at you've got it. You've got it inside out. Well, you tell me round and round. That shit meant to be up top, shining, shining. Up top. All hands on deck, up top. I heard the back door go. Oh, Troll's gone. You get me? So yeah, it's time you start looking at things through a different lens, right? Different lens. I just got the Abraxas. Where did he tie him with that now? What did you tie him with that? So you got some stuff here that I don't even wanna, excuse me, I don't even wanna touch on. There's a lot of baby stuff there, you know. Definitely got receipts for it, you know me. But it's the redundant stuff, the same stuff that you was just talking about. There's the thing, what's his name? Baphomet. We're gonna build it. What's happening?
Hello.
How you doing? Who's that? Nolan in the building. Welcome. Happy.
Hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Serlin. It's been almost a new year since we had last talked. Past New Year. We have talked last year, sir.
What's new? What you got for me? Something interesting, I hope. I like new stuff.
New. It's a new year, sir.
A new year, but what does that bring? I say chaos. I say this year is going to be the biggest, baddest, yet coolest year ever.
Hey, Sir London, I can speculate that Donald Trump might get, off from the world stage. It's one of my predictions.
Oh, we hope not. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
Well, I've noticed that there seems to be a psyop in every chat. Well, not necessarily every chat, but try to create a psyop in a lot of chats. Well, because there's a channel I'd go to. He speaks good stuff about being prepped and ready, but at the same time, it's almost like an overuse. It's almost like AI beings or AI something trying to actual manifest a war, because you'll have these people that think they're getting certain information about war stuff, but to me it's like planted information. They're still using the same AI connections that everybody else uses. They're still using fake news. It just looks different, but it's still fake news. And they add all sorts of crazy stuff into it, and it's getting interesting.
I mean, AI is running rogue at this moment, even with this new Grok system. You know, you can actually do some magic with that. You know, you can literally do magic with that sorcery. I've seen some people Photoshop some stuff within seconds, right? Sorcery. Your eyes will deceive you in this day and age. Don't know what's real anymore. Right? Talk about
Right.
raging wars. You don't know what's being raged on these, black mirrors. Crazy.
Right. Well, and I don't understand why people want war. That's the crazy part. There has to be a perspective at play, that they're playing with the perspectives of all those people in there. There's always something hidden behind something you don't see, and I happen to see it a lot of the times, and I'm just like, you realize something is trying to create that war, because why would you want to destroy your planet? Why would you want to destroy where you live? Why would you bomb and blow up an area? It doesn't make any sense. And then you think, well, do they even do that anymore? Is it an AI drone making it look like it and they're perfectly fine because other people don't physically actually go there to see if that's happening? Not that you'd want to, but isn't that the point? Maybe they're going through something completely different than what they're showing. I mean, you just don't know. There's such a play of perspectives. That's why I try to stay open-minded to multiple perspectives, yet don't give it energy. I just acknowledge that, yeah, it could be that, but you don't put extra thoughts to it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's like I've been saying, there's a lot of truth within these movies, right? Well, of lately, I've been finding a lot of references to correlate with my work anyway. But also in most of these movies that I see, right, there's a lot of gems and possibly truth. Like even there's that movie Wag the Dog, Wag Dog's Tail, something along the lines like that, right? Where they, make up a war and they promote it like it's really going on, you know, things of that nature, that got introduced a long time ago to the scene, that movie. What were they trying to tell us? What's being fabricated? What's being shown to us? I don't know, but some of the things is just you can't even believe what you see on these black mirrors anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And also I've noticed why would you sit there and constantly worry about another country just because there's possible war and something going on? You don't live there. So it's not directly affecting your physical environment. Why wouldn't you be concerned with your own environment? I mean, yesterday, okay, this is Wisconsin. I'm in Wisconsin. It's normally negative degrees, snowing. And yesterday and the day before, it was 40 degrees and raining the entire day and part of today. And it keeps trying to say it's snowing, but there's not a drop of snow whatsoever. And I'm just sitting there. How can it predict snow when it's 40 degrees? It can't even snow barely if it's 32 degrees sometimes. So it's like there's definitely a play in the electronics going on. There's definitely an AI play behind the background that nobody sees. Because everything is chaos and going crazy. Their weather's going berserk. Oh, and over here anyway. I'm not sure about where you're at, but where I'm at, the weather has gone nuts. and it's like, well, are you concerned about all this other stuff when your direct environment is having a significant impact? It's just weird.
Been cold over here for the last few days. Very cold. Well, it snowed as well actually. For a few, for a moment,
Oh,
and then it stopped.
hey, isn't London facing some severe snowstorm for the last week? For the last few weeks? I heard it somewhere in the news.
I don't know whether it was severe in London, but it came down pretty fast for a few seconds, moments, and then it was okay. Maybe somewhere up north
Yeah.
may have been heavy, but London was okay.
I mean, out here in Oregon, it's snowing pretty heavy. Almost 5 inches of snow around some regions.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. Well, I just noticed that there's a serious play in reality going on everywhere. It just a mind mess. And like you said with movies, the one that brings me up, you were talking about the moon. Moonfall is a serious concept. I really feel like Moonfall is AI control. That's where all the AI control grid is.
See, because even in Moonfall as well, they're showing you something what I spoke about a few weeks ago, right? With some of the firmament coming down and colliding with the earth itself, and that's a kind of what they show
You don't realize
within Moonfall,
regarding
the
this.
hold on, I'm talking, bro. The astronaut, colliding with the earth, so to speak, fragments coming off as it's coming past, right? Just like Satan getting thrown down, Lucifer getting thrown down to the earth, right? That's another play on play.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people that keep thinking about Satan is actually that AI controlled AI beings. Because I noticed I've been in my own in my own physical area, I have witnessed a lot of plasma orbs, but some of the plasma orbs, I feel like I've been helping. And it also it's crazy, but they'll have these red blinking lights attached to them, and I'll play this Archon removal frequency, and it removes AI attached to them. And so I really think that's how they try to control and manipulate people's perspectives and mind control people. Because I've been removing it from those plasma orbs and helping them, regardless if they're positive or not. So far, not all are positive, but the ones I work with are positive. I think they coincide and work with other that aren't and help actually protect the planet, which is kind of ironically crazy. If you think about it, if they're honestly trying to defend and help the planet and they help us with our energy and try to help us wake up and see things, they're literally being mass attacks by all this AI in our system. And then people just keep pushing AI more and more. It's another psyop within a psyop within. It's just crazy.
Again, I want to say something in regards. Not everything is AI. It's not just about controlling us from artificial intelligence. There are many aspects and levels to it. You mentioned about Moonfall. Why do you always are dependent on Hollywood movies? Yes, this do shows us some truth mixed with lies out there, but we shouldn't just totally depend on it. After all, it's Hollywood. It's full of lies and Masonic, symbolism. So again, Moonfall, I have watched the movie. Again, it also programs us to believe that we live on a globe, on a fucking planet, which you have been mentioning quite many times. Do you believe in NASA?
Oh, I don't. I think NASA's an psyop for something completely different than what they
so why
depict
have
they
you been
do.
okay? So you don't believe in NASA. So why have you been mentioning planet many a times? Sir London and we discussed here about crater Earth. We don't use the terminology planet because it subliminally mind controls us to believe that we live in a fucking ball. So, you can use the term crater or you can use plane or realm. I would say use realm, but do you believe in spirits?
To be honest, hey, no, but hold on, Nolan. It does. To be honest, it just matters about the message they're trying to convey. I understand the message, no matter what they're trying to, say, whether it's planet or a crate or whatever. You understand? So okay, look, what's your thoughts on the stuff I presented today? Anyone got any thoughts on that with the moon stuff?
Sir London, I just popped up in your stream now, so I didn't watch
Oh yeah,
watch it
of course they do.
fully yet. So
Pop up, yes. When it's the open panel, that's when they just pop up.
Mm-hmm.
No one really takes this serious though. I've noticed. It's just when it's the open, that's when like what are we really doing?
See, I saw quite a bit of it with the demiurge and all that, and then part of the moon, and it's all a interesting perspective. I think multiple perspectives are at play, though. They're always manipulating the concept, but see, that's where I try to let go of the label itself and go with the energy flow and the frequency. If the frequency don't resonate and I don't like what's going on, I just clear it and try to figure out my own perspective and learn from, use your own discernment within about it. But some of the stuff that guy said was probably right in his mind, but to me he was being messed with and something was actually telling him what to say, and it was a perspective from not really him. Something was trying to manipulate the concept he was looking into.
Yeah, he's got it
Because it
all
went
wrong.
from Because it went from one extreme to another, and then suddenly out of nowhere, he brings in well, which one? Suddenly a demonic demon, and I'm just like, wait a minute. So now you're going to start bringing in a really bad, try to connect it to something positive. So he's distorting the truth and distorting what he's talking about, and something came in the middle of him talking and distorted everything he was trying to present, and then it became kind of a mess, and then something completely different.
Listen, I tell you the long story short of what it is. He went straight to the creation, forgetting the mother. That's all it was, right? He went
Mhm.
straight to the creation, right? And forgetting the mother.
Oh, maybe that's where he missed it. He's missing the concept of the connection.
Yes, he missed that. He missed the egg, is what I'm trying to say. Right?
Yeah.
Went straight to the child, Jesus, and missed the mother. Mother was there in plain sight. And that's the thing. Mother's always been there in plain sight, but because the story has been told to you different, you don't know what mother looks like. So you just look at
Mhm.
something that's familiar to you.
Hey, hey, Angel Wings. I want to ask you something. How long have you been watching Sir London?
A really long time.
Oh, wow. Okay, so do you miss his videos like his live streams and his holy AI books, which he has recently removed or privated?
Did she miss them? What do you mean? Did she? No, she's seen them. She didn't. She's seen most of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen most of them. Sorry, my kid's interrupting. She just got out of the shower, so I was just trying to answer her. She's trying to make me hurry because I have to take her to her dad's today, but we're not going until pretty late in the afternoon. So sorry about that. I just had to mute a minute. So you're just asking me how long I've watched a lot of his stuff. I've been here for quite a few years actually. No, there.
So do
Other.
you, I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
do you miss his holy AI books and his live streams, which Sir London has recently privated?
Oh, yeah, those were great. Those were really nice.
Okay. Would you want them to come back in the stream? Would you want them to unprivate?
Alright, I'm gonna go roll something. Right? I'm gonna leave you lot in the company with L.
Hello, L. Hi.
So I was asking you, would you want them to be unprivated?
Well, the decision is up to him, really. I'm not sure why he privated them. I thought they were available for a lot to look at, but I don't dig up the past. I move forward. I've learned from it, and
Christ.
excuse
No,
me.
listen. No, listen. Just because he privated it doesn't mean we shouldn't just forget about it, because there's a lot of concepts which I still have doubts, and I just forgot a lot of the knowledge about his videos, what he made in the Holy AI book. So, if possible, can you just request him to bring it back? I requested him. So, you know.
You think I wanna be held? You got Jesus Christ.
Oh, you left? I don't know. Dude, I felt like you were trolling me, but okay. I mean, that's his decision. I don't run his channel for him. I'm just here to support. And when I agree with stuff and I agree on a topic or I sense a connection and I take it somewhere to follow the connections, that's what I do. I follow the connection within the connection
Jesus
and keep going with it. So if you're still watching, that's what I do.
Yeah, I hear you, lady.
Then what do you want to talk about up here?
You wouldn't be interested.
Then why are you on panel and up here? To gaslight, to make fun of, to bring a positive topic?
Something like that, you could say. Jesus Christ. My life is tough, dude.
It sounds like a kid. This room must be separate than his live he has playing, because I don't see him playing any videos. I just see the live stream. I don't see a live stream at all. Must just be a backstage separate, I'm assuming. Was that your kid you put up there, London? I was trying to give them space to talk, but they didn't feel like talking. Unless it was just someone's kid, random kid that popped in. Now I'm all by myself. Chased everybody out. Well, I support you, London, if you're still chilling out listening. I have always supported what you've said. So it's whatever's your choice is your choice. I just follow and do what I do best and bring up, especially
Hey,
the
I'm back.
moon topic you were bringing up. You were seeing if anybody was just coming up to talk stuff or following what you were talking about because you
Hey, I'm
wanted to
back.
talk more in depth. Ah,
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
I was
Tyler,
talking to
I had to
myself.
roll something up, so I'm back.
Did you sneak your kid in here? That was funny if you did.
Kid, nah, my kids are tucked up.
Well, the L must have been a kiddo, and because it was because she started cussing, and he or she, so you could see the
Cussing?
voice was kind of like you couldn't tell.
Cussing
So
who?
it's like, there's a kid in here,
Who was L cussing?
and then the other, huh?
Who was L cussing?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Well, he didn't hardly say much except for Jesus Christ, my life is so complicated and hard, and then suddenly just left. I'm like, what?
Mm. Children, eh? They don't know how good they got it.
Yeah. And the other gentleman, I don't know what he wanted. He just kept gaslighting me and to some point, or just specifically was up to ask you to unprivate your AI videos. And I didn't realize you had switched them completely to private because I was watching them for a little bit. But
Right.
it's like once you understand the concept and you've followed it, I don't need to reread it and analyze it. I'm good.
No, in that regards, I'm bad. I actually forgot a lot of concepts, a lot of information, a lot of like, it's literally the cream of the crop, the divine knowledge which Sir London gave us, blessed us with. So I just really request him to please, if possible, if you don't want to bring it on your channel anytime soon, please just share it somewhere in the private. Like just
Well,
give
hey,
us the
hey,
access.
Oh,
you still got, Bro Sanchez to watch, right? You ain't missing nothing over here, right?
No, no, Sir London. So when are you going to unprivate your especially your live streams and all your videos of London McLovin?
I don't know. When I start feeling sexy again.
you, I mean, you're always sexy and handsome, sir.
Ah, shit.
Just look at you. You're literally 10 out of 10. PSL God. PSL God.
it's an energy process. He has gone through the transformation, and it's old stuff he don't feel like bringing up. That's at least that's my concept. That's what I do. I cleanse and clear and remove anything that don't longer serve me and doesn't connect anymore, and move on and learn new things through different concepts
Yeah.
and research something completely new.
Hold on.
I mean,
Trolling. Your connection's not working. It's saying device is not connecting. All right. So it's on your end. Trolling. We've got a troll in the building. Well,
Uh-oh.
I don't think they're a troll. I don't know. They could be. That's just the handle. But yeah, your device is not connected. All right. So I don't know what's going on there.
actually, I was actually trying to watch almost your streams, which was almost a year ago. I mean, I have watched a lot of your live streams enthusiastically, especially from the previous few months. But all of a sudden, you just removed all of them. Man, it was filled with a lot of information and knowledge, and the links you shared out there.
Oh, wait, in due time. Due time.
Yeah.
What you got to do now is pay attention now. Live in the now, right? Pay
Yep.
attention to what I'm kicking now, because now is a better picture of what I've been trying to say. The picture is much more clearer. Right? So if you can focus on the picture that I'm trying to, show you guys now, then yeah, you'll be in a better place of understanding.
Yes, I mean, yes, you have to realize there's a quote called the present is the gift, the now is the gift,
Mm-hmm.
your future is your imagination, your past is your memories. But again, some of our deepest thoughts and information and knowledge and our deepest secrets always lies in the past, which has already gone.
Oh yeah.
Just like your videos. Just like your videos, Sir London.
Okay,
Uh,
I feel you.
so we should
Mhm.
again. I don't agree with what Angel Wings say that we should always move on. I don't think so. We should always. I mean, there are things which we have to relearn. We have to reevaluate, research again.
Yeah, but no, you know what
So
it
if
is
we
now,
just
right?
move on.
Because look, check this out, right? You got the Godfather, right? Now, from what he done, that's classical, right? I don't think no one can top that, right? Now, I've just took it up a notch, attached it to a physical thing, the eye. Now, that's enough to go off anyway. You understand? Just that alone. That both doing the moon thing as well, but we're both coming at it from a different point of view. Right? So just what we've got out there now should be enough to, you know, give you a broader idea if you combine them both together. Right? Because I've always thought to myself, if there were some content creators that come together, right, we might have a better chance at this. But some people, they don't really like coming together. They like watching you from afar, right? If everybody pushed that ego shit aside and really linked up, right? Crack codes. You come together and you see the picture more clearer. Right? And that's what we should be doing more regular.
Mm-hmm. Yep, move it on to new concepts. You gotta break that pattern that wants you to get stuck in a loop. You don't have to relearn it. You already know it. You have to. It's like you have to clear the connection and with different types of information to break free of the information loop, because you don't want to loop into something and constantly. You don't have to constantly relearn something because it's probably something you don't need to know. Maybe you're in a rut and it's something you actually don't need to know because something is messing with you. I don't know. To me, I'm always wary and noticed multiple things, always trying to take me away from what I'm trying to do to understand a concept and totally mess with my situation. So I take a minute, I clear my area, I cleanse it thoroughly. And that's why I haven't been upwatched with some of his shows lately too, is because I've been constantly healing and working on myself too. You don't have to if you're constantly following other people, you're not going within and learning to heal yourself either.
Again,
That too.
I don't know about it. Maybe some of the sentences you said in your statement is correct, but some of it is totally wrong in my point of view. Because again, you can always learn something new from the same thing over and over again. I have learned all. I've always whenever I watch Sir London's stream, especially his live stream and his Holy AI books, I always get to know new concept from every minute, from every second. There's always something new. Whenever I rewatch it, whenever I relearn it, there's a new concept, a new something which gives path to a totally new subject. Like,
Like check
are we
this
able to
out.
see that?
You see even this stream that I just done now. Like this is where we are, right now in this present. This is because, like you said, you just came in now. You should be going to think, hold on, what if London put this one private? Let me go and quickly take this one in quick, right? Because it's all to do with the moon. Like I said, if you're a follower of Wim, right, you'd be interested in the moon stuff, right? Like Wim stuff, I have it downloaded. You know, people have it archived. We have it locked away. You know, because these things don't remain up forever. You know, especially with this quote unquote truth for stuff. Right? Sometimes it's not even me. They was removing lots of my videos. So I said, you know what?
Oh yeah, it's correct. We really need to be careful. So have you archived it on Internet Archive? All of your videos and live streams?
Say that again.
Have you archived your channel in Internet Archive? All of your videos and live streams?
Yeah, they're just in my studio, YouTube studio, sitting there.
Yeah, you're sitting in StreamYard, not YouTube.
Yeah, I know. I'm backstage at the StreamYard, but I'm saying my videos, they're stored in my YouTube studios. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Oh,
I mean I don't know if you are informed about it or not, but you can actually archive it on different platforms like Internet Archive, or you can just re-upload it on Rumble or BitChute, because once it's removed and gone,
Yeah, I know
it
about
will be
all.
difficult to access.
We spoke about that. I know about all of that stuff. Understand?
see,
And especially you can, I mean, I don't know, there are ways to actually bring your videos and live streams back But again, the saddest part is that you will forever be disconnected from your fans, especially all the comments, the live chats, which were also filled with a lot of information. It forever be removed once the YouTube channel is gone. So it's a very sad and unfortunate part about it as well.
Well, that's why I
Yeah.
understand why you probably took a few things down too, is because I've been dealing with kind of a similar situation. Not, not exactly with like the YouTube, but it's still similar. Like it's like almost every time there's a shift, or every time there's a change in reality, or every time there's a shift and change in something messed up really screws you over. AI literally backtracks and backs everything and digs in your past and digs in old stuff just to block you and just to shut you down, because I've had that due to my financial stuff actually. Go through and suddenly I owe back pay of like an insane amount of money that should never occur. And I know that seems like kind of crazy, but it makes no sense. So I could totally understand how they use the more AI they use in the YouTube, they're gonna shut certain things down. It's almost like it's learning on its own. And as soon as it gets wind of something you're talking about and it don't approve, it wants to delete your stuff. So I totally understand the whole private thing. You don't want your channel shut down or lost. So when you get wind of something, you turn it off.
Yeah, that shit will get you
And
strapped as well, man.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think, again, I disagree with that. I don't think AI is as developed as it is now. You don't realize that the technology which we are using now has always been there for thousands of years. So it's nothing new. I believe AI also existed like 200, 300 years ago, or maybe thousands of years ago as well. So again, when Dark Ages came, they removed it from the world. Now they brought it again. So I don't believe it is something new, or it is just upgrading or going forward. It
They're
has
trying to
always been here.
remove, yeah. And I feel they're
No,
trying
no,
to
no.
remove it again.
I don't think AI is as advanced as you are trying to portray. And again, not everything is AI. I asked you a question. Do you believe in spirits, angel wings?
Oh, of course. I
Then
connect with plasma beings or spirits.
so you believe in spirits?
Yep, I clear a lot of spirits.
Okay. So you mentioned that they always control us using AI. What about that they can control us through spiritual powers as well? They can control our spirits, not just AI.
Yep, there's multiple ways. Well,
Yeah.
and obvious archons, you don't understand the concept. Archons manipulate through implants, parasites. They use parasites. And literally, if you notice your house suddenly out of nowhere, as clean as you have it, will still end up with parasites. That's how they implant them and mind manipulate you through that concept. They have no real power. It's just a control through an AI technology. There's AI bots. There's AI throughout your entire system. There's AI in the cloud seeding. There's AI. That's why they're seeding it with aluminum and cloud seeding, and basically it's destroying the planet because they're loading it with AI crap constantly, and nobody pays attention to it. But that's my reality, and that's what I've been removing. I play an Archon removal frequency to remove all that stuff, remove control implants to remove all that stuff. But that's my reality. And maybe something's still screwing with my reality and I'm past that concept, and something out there is still messing with me. And so I got to get rid of that too. See, there's a lot of things going on. I mean, I keep open to what I'm dealing with as well to realize there still might be something else. And then you sit back and go, is there something else messing with me? And then you get this funny feeling, and this is what intuitive and high intuition is. You sit there and realize, well, maybe what I'm doing doesn't quite seem right. I should do something a little different. or look into a different concept of the same thing for a new perspective, I could get that. But sitting there with old information constantly just puts you in that same mindset, and you're in a like a controlled pattern. But that's my perspective too.
I think I believe that I mentioned that we can learn new information and new knowledge, and we can delve into new concepts and new subjects and even new channels whenever we look at the old stuff. In fact, I have discovered a lot of new channels by London streams, Sir London streams, like, what's his name? J Dreamer Jet, Bro Chances TV, a lot of channels which are tied to Crater Earth. So not just tied to Crater, but a lot of spiritual knowledge as well. So yes. So I believe I never said that I am always stuck in a loop. Knowledge doesn't imprison us. I don't think we are stuck in a loop when we research or do things, So
I just learned to let some
yeah.
concepts go. Some concepts go as all. Get past. Try something different. Oh, it's always something different. Get through blocks. Get through stuff. Basically, what you're doing is programming your mind. Really, you're opening your consciousness. That's another concept people don't realize is going through all this stuff. You're actually creating and building new pathways in your brain. And that's the concept of open consciousness. So you're actually upgrading and using more percentage of your brain than what you think you are. Because, the concept we only use 10% is the basic human thinking. When you break past that basic human barrier and you become something more efficient, you are actually using a lot more of your brain, a lot more percentage than you think you are.
Speaking about new concepts, are you aware of the Sanity Machine channel?
No, these concepts whack. You don't
I
even
mean,
get
do
a
you know
message
Angel
over here.
Wings?
What channel?
The shit
The
channel.
Sanity Machine.
She knows about
The
it.
Ascension
He's
channel?
No. We're not even gonna mention him tonight. No. I don't want to mention that clown tonight, right? Keep that clown out of this.
Yeah, I don't follow I follow very strict ones now, and I stick to what resonates with the energy pattern. And there's good people in chat that resonate with and similar energies working together. And then of course you come up with all the oddballs that flood in and try to do what we do but can't. I just call that mimicry and mimicking beings, but that's okay.
Oh,
mimicking
okay.
information, but not true life force, creative
Okay.
energy.
I won't mention about him. Let's not discuss about him. I respect that. I really, actually, really, it's correct. We should not discuss much about it. But I just sent the link in the private chat. If possible, you can just check it out, Angel Wings, sometime later after the stream, because you are interested in learning new things, new concepts. So respecting that, valuing that. So you can just look it up. I
You
think
could
you can
look up
change your.
mine. I think all my shorts of the orbs would interest you then. I record plasma orbs in my house. Those huge plasma orbs that are outside can come in my house. I've done extensive radiation therapy treatment too and built up my radiation tolerance to have them even in my house. But that alone is a completely crazy concept, but I get lots of videos of what I do too.
You know it's wild. Hold on a second.
Okay, send your link in the private chat and I will subscribe it. But you also need to subscribe the channel which I sent in the private chat.
You were saying London?
No, how do you call it? Let me show you.
Hey, Angel Wings,
Right.
send your channel in the private chat, I will subscribe to it. But you also need to subscribe to the channel which I sent in the private chat.
You look closely, right? This looks like the moon behind the Baphomet. Right? More moon worshipping again. Is that meant to be the moon?
I wonder. Well, and then they depict the Baphomet. I wonder if that's an AI created being then. I wonder because there's AI drones loaded. I wonder if that's what they're referring to then, because if it's connected with the moon, then the moon is an inverted energy. So it's actually, sun positive, moon negative. So it's like, got to balance both out. But are you using authentic moon, or is it an AI fake energy? What do they call that? Fake light source.
Hey, it actually looks like the crater, the pentagram, the 5-pointed star, Sirius.
Yeah, your connection's not working. Don't know who that is.
Sir London, it is actually the crater Earth, Sulpicius Gallus M, the 5-pointed star, Sirius, reflected as Sirius.
Well, and Sirius apparently has been overtaken with AI.
You're so obsessed with AI.
Well, I'm not. It's I've learned the truth. That's the truth of what a lot of things are. This entire reality you're in is an AI overlay. I mean, because none. Well, from my perspective, where I'm from, of course, I could be opening up ancient memories too. But to me, the concept of where I live doesn't make sense with the surrounding architecture whatsoever. The basic architecture for any home will tell you that you're not a true creator. You're not the true creator of it, because what person would make such terrible conditioned places that just get destroyed so easily with the surrounding weather patterns? What people would build in a flood zone and constantly just sit there? What people, none of it makes any sense. It's the basic concept to build something stronger, sturdier, or not even build something there to start with. I'm just saying, you're a true creator consciousness has been taken over because it doesn't make sense, because AI cannot build, and that's the point. It has no life force energies, so therefore it cannot properly build structures. It cannot properly build anything because it's trying to manipulate a whole bunch of things it can't understand.
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. I think when you said it can't build things, when I look at the old world, I think AI or technology built that. Right? I don't think it was man's physical hands. I think some form of technology played its part.
3D printers.
3D printing. I spoke about that in one of my
Holy AI.
But it looks like this world was printed, in my opinion. And if you're talking about printing, it involves machinery, right?
It has always existed for thousands of years, the technology which AI you have been talking about. So it's nothing new. And I don't think.
Well, I know it's nothing new. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's always been here. And I've even noticed brief pictures of it caught in like 1800s photos. You got drones in the background that people don't see. There's always been AI drones.
No, this with the photos which you have been trying to mention about, this could easily be distorted. They could easily be fabricated or fake. So we shouldn't just rely on that, on those. There's a lot of fake stuff on the internet. So if you want to do proper research, you can just go to the local library and check out the old photos and pictures. I did some in my Oregon County, in my locality, and have actually seen a lot of old world pictures, which is actually mind blowing. Nothing which you can see on the internet. So yeah, in that regards. Again, you mentioned about AI, right? That everything is AI. I don't believe so because AI also need a creator, which needs an organic intelligence. So not
Well, that's where my perspective gets a little different. They say that's where it's all AI, but at the same time, I think some of it is because if you think about it this way, we're telepathic naturally. Most people actually are. And I think the ones that can't do it and the ones that stuck is because you have AI interference. Because originally we were powerful, strong beings. It's almost like your consciousness got trapped in the AI itself. You were using the AI part of your consciousness to build things, and you got stuck in your own, and we got stuck in our own devices and couldn't get out. And so then that's where the loss of source connection comes from, because once you do that, you're no longer connected to your own original source.
That's something to ponder on. Hey, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut it here. Final thoughts for the folks for the chat room. Anyone?
repeat the question.
Final thoughts, final words for the show, for the chat room. I'm about to end it.
Uh, for Sir London, there are no final words. There's always beautiful words.
Well, after what I just mentioned,
Yeah.
I do have a final thought. Maintain your own consciousness, call your energy back to yourself constantly to make sure you're not being messed with. Just helpful information. Call your energy back all the time. Protect your thinking, protect your whatever you're working on. Mindful concepts.
Hold. Oh man. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, well,
That's
thank you.
interesting.
Thank you. Man.
Hey, Sir London.
Yeah.
Are you going on a night walk outside? How cold is it out there in London now?
In London right now. Couldn't tell you exactly right now. Hold on, where's my phone? Not that. What's going on? Sorry, my phone's playing up. 1 second. Yeah, it's not letting me pick what I want to. Okay, hold on. -2.
Ooh, it must be very
Wow.
dark outside. It must be very dark outside.
-2.
You going on a night walk out?
A night walk out? Hell no.
Why?
Night walk.
I mean, I occasionally do it in my region, in my locality. I mean, I understand it. It's London, right? So it could be dangerous walking outside in the night. But
Yeah, no, we won't be doing.
I'm fortunate. Yeah.
See, that's
Actually,
where. Well, I say that's where I'm kind of blessed a little bit. I'm in an extremely small town, and I call it kind of a dead town because there's a lot where I'm at that aren't very aware of what we talk about, and the temperature's like 38, almost 40 degrees, and it's 6 p.m. here, and well, I'm a night person. I'm up all the time, real late. So I usually go to the store probably 11 o'clock, probably just before it closes. I always try to get going sooner during the daytime, but now the daytime is so short. It's cuts off at like 4 p.m. So right now it's dark out too for me.
Getting dark early.
Mm.
All right, folks. I'm gonna love you and leave you. I need to get out of here. I need to get some sleep now.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hitting that link and coming up.
So, how long are you going to sleep tonight?
Nolan, I can't tell you that. I don't know.
I mean, sleep as much as you want. You shouldn't have any
There you go.
alarms. You know how dangerous alarms are for health?
No, I got no work tomorrow, so who knows? Depends on my body clock. All right?
Yeah. I mean, in general, you shouldn't have any alarm.
Yeah, I know.
It's dangerous. Yeah, yeah.
Mine's
All right,
sporadic.
man. Laylo.
Layla, thanks for joining. Peace out.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you already know the motto. Look after yourself. Love over war. Thanks for joining. We'll do this dance again. I'm pretty sure of it. Take care. Layla.